Vandals have it 2nd and 2 at the Cougar 30. Pistol formation. Elijah Cummings been that featured back so far. The snap, the turn, the give to Cummings. Met by McKenna. Sheds the tackle and is knocked out of bounds at the line of scrimmage. But there was a flag thrown from behind the quarterback, Joshua Wood. Our first flag of the game.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a hold on the left tackle, Charlie Vleem. Working against.
Holding, number 68, offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 2nd down.
Working against Isaac Terrell, who took an inside path, a counter play from the Idaho Vandals that starts to the right, wraps back to the left with the running back. Terrell went inside the left tackle, Vleem, and Vleem had to hold on tight. Otherwise, that was going to be a tackle for loss by Terrell.
So that puts Idaho back further behind the original line of scrimmage after that bad punt from Ryan Harris. It makes it 2nd and 12. Vandals, no score here in Pullman at the Cougar 40-yard line. Art Williams in at running back. Pistol formation, snap, the handoff to Williams, looking near side, nothing there. Wrapped up, was trying to get that corner, and he was knocked down immediately. A couple Cougs in there on the stop. Darian Dalton, transfer from San Diego State, helped to make the tackle.
Love seeing that from Colby Humphrey, the corner, the transfer from South Dakota State. He dives inside as soon as he sees that run play coming to the short side of the field. It attacks the blocker low, sheds through it, and makes the tackle on the running back in the backfield. You love to see the hard-nosed play from the 5'11", 189-pound Humphrey.
3rd and 12 for the Vandals. We see a true freshman out there for the Cougar defense, Kyle Peterson, a Texas native out there. Here's the snap. Wood looking to pass. Steps up, flushed out. Hovering, now will throw over the middle. The pass incomplete. Did have a bit of a window trying to find his big target, the tight end Gabe Hoffman, 6'6" transfer from Eastern Michigan, Bellevue native, at Eastside Catholic High School. Those two could not get in sync. It's an incompletion, and after having great field position, 1st and 10 at the Cougar 38, well, the Vandals go -2 yards, and they're forced to punt.
Nice job by the Cougar defense right there. Big play on 1st down to set up a 2nd and short, and then the defensive line, Terrell, forces the hold, followed by a great play by the corner Humphrey, and then off the field on 3rd and long. That true freshman Peterson almost had an interception.
Tony Freeman back at the 5, LJ Harm with the punt. Nice punt. Freeman will call for a fair catch inside the 5. He's going to be marked down at the 3-yard line. So for the 2nd straight time, the Cougar offense will be pinned back deep. And for those who weren't with us at the beginning of our broadcast, and really the very first time that the Cougar offense took to the field, the question was answered. Who's the starting quarterback for Washington State? It is Jackson Potter. We'll see Jackson Potter in the Cougar offense for the 2nd time when we return. First quarter here at Giesa Field. 5:04 left to play. Washington State and Idaho with no score. This is Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
This September, you could be leaving Northern Quest in something different. A lot different. As in, the whole neighborhood suddenly has a staring problem when you roll up in a new GMC Canyon. Different. It's our $160,000 Grander Canyon giveaway. With 2 2025 GMC Canyons up for grabs, plus thousands in cash prizes. You know, for the extra garage space you're about to need. The Grander Canyon giveaway. Grand prize drawing September 8th and 29th. Only at Northern Quest.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Vanity Fair calls BritBox a delicious streamer. Collider says everyone should be watching. Catch Britain's next best series with BritBox. Stream acclaimed new originals like Code of Silence.
You read lips, right?
And Linley, based on the best-selling mystery series.
Say hi, Linley. Take it from here.
And don't miss the new season of Karen Piri, coming this October.
You don't look like police. I'll take that as a compliment.
See it differently when you stream the best of British TV with BritBox. Watch with a free trial today.
No score at Gieser Field. Washington State and Idaho still kind of feeling each other out. 5:04 to play in the first quarter. Cougs will take over on offense at their own 3-yard line. Jess, the big story, Jackson Potter is the starting quarterback for the Cougs. What's that dynamic you've witnessed on the sideline between him and those quarterbacks he was competing with for the job?
Well, as Brink can attest to, a quarterback room is always very tight, and it is always a competitive situation. But what I always see down here on the sidelines, this was the heir apparent to this starting job. Jackson Potter flat out beat him out, and all I see down here is communication and respect and support of one another. And you know, all of these guys are going to be ready to go at any moment should they need to, but it is all support, coaching. They coach each other, and I'm sure Brink can add a lot more than I can to this, but that is what I'm seeing down here, and it's something you really love to see in the game of competition.
My first day at Washington State, Tim Rosenbach sat us all around the table. He said, listen, when you're on the field between the white lines, you compete against each other, but when we're in here, we work together, and that was the whole point of exactly what Jess is saying.
Potter and his teammates looking to make it happen here is Washington State at their own 3, and there is a false start against the Cougs.
Offense, half the distance to the goal, still first down.
That's against tight end Trey Lechner, so instead of the 3-yard line, the Cougs push back to the 1.5-yard mark as Jackson Potter, someone who is in his 3rd year of college football, but playing just at the very end of the Hawaii game when that one was very much decided. So this is a whole new situation for him, playing in front of tens and tens and tens of thousands of people. Takes the snap, gets it off quick, looking for a shot, going deep, and it is incomplete. Trying to find Josh Meredith, and let's see, is that going to be a free play? Because there is a flag down on the far sideline.
Yeah, Idaho was in the neutral zone for sure. Taking a shot out of the end zone to Josh Meredith. Pretty good throw. Looked like Meredith got grabbed just a little bit.
Offside. Defense number 45 was in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
Mitchell Jaskowiak, defensive lineman for Idaho, with the penalty. No score here, 5 minutes to play, first quarter. Cougs now with 1st and 8, so back-to-back penalties, one on each team. Pistol formation, Angel Johnson, the running back behind Jackson Potter. Big things expected for Josh Meredith this year, the returning Coug. Here's the snap, the give to Angel Johnson. A little bit of an opening past the 10-yard line, and grab it on for dear life. Anacortes native Hayden John, the sophomore, was able to bring down Johnson. He gotten past John. There was plenty of turf in front of him, but still a nice pickup as the Cougs set up a 2nd and short, 2nd and 1. Washington State still deep in their own territory at the 12.
Yeah, and I'm watching right there. Right tackle Christian Hilborn, a veteran. A.J. Vaipulu, the right guard transfer, coming in from New Mexico State, also a veteran, did a really nice job on the down block. Christian Hilborn peels off to kick out. It gives Angel Johnson a little bit of space to set up this 2nd and short.
Tight formation for the Cougs. Johnson left to Potter. The snap, the give to Johnson. Looking to stretch out. Nothing there. Vandals well defended. The right side of that offensive line just swallowed up. 2nd and 1 for the Cougs. They just try to move the chains for the first time in this game, and instead it ends up as a loss of 3.
Yeah, and that time Vaipulu got beat by Dylan Lane, number 21. Really highly regarded linebacker for this Idaho Vandal team out of Lake Oswego, Oregon. 6'1", 222-pound junior. Named a captain this week, and you can see smart football player. As soon as he sees outside run, he's downhill. Just a wide zone, slow developing play. I like seeing Angel Johnson hit that hole, getting downhill, more like the first down play.
3rd and 3 for the Cougs from their own 10. No score, 3.5 minutes to go. Here's the snap. Looks like a broken play. Potter fakes the handoff and driven to the turf by Isaiah King. Clearly some miscommunication there as Potter looked to his left and there was no one there to take the ball. And Washington State will have their 2nd straight 3 and out. And, you know, if someone's just hearing that, they might think, oh, what's going on with Jackson Potter? But Alex, the Cougar offense has been pinned back on their heels both times they've had the ball.
Yeah, not great field position, but then also trying to establish the running game. Danny Freund can't get the chunk play he wants, and he ends up in a couple 3rd and 3s that they don't execute on.
Here's the punt from Ryan Harris. Better as Elijah Cummings runs up to midfield. The Vandal punt returner calls for a fair catch at the 50, and that will take us to a timeout. The phrase that was used by both coordinators this week, Danny Freund and Jesse Bobbitt for the Cougs, there's going to be a feeling out process, and that has definitely been on display here. A lot of unknown for both teams, and the Cougs still trying to find their footing. 2:46 to play, first quarter. Gorgeous night at Giesa Field. Good turnout here in Pullman. No score between Washington State and Idaho. More after this. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. Rural communities face unique healthcare challenges. By providing hands-on opportunities for WSU students in health sciences, nursing, pharmacy, and the Elson Floyd College of Medicine, Pullman Regional Hospital is helping to shape the future of local healthcare. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe. Experience Namipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
Whether you're cleaning up to host a backyard game day party or just powering through your fall projects, you can count on the performance of Steel. From blowers to chainsaws, Steel tools are built to go the distance. With legendary quality and real dealer support, you'll find the right tool and the right team for every job. Steel, proud supporter of your Washington State Cougars.
Tonight's game is sponsored by Pullman Regional Hospital. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State University Athletics are partners in excellence. As the official hospital of Washington State University Athletics, Pullman Regional Hospital provides quality care and support to over 500 student athletes. Let the team that takes care of the Cougs take care of you. Go Cougs! And we're looking forward to having an interview at halftime with Dr. Ed Tingstad from Pullman Regional Hospital. Back at Giesa Field, no score between Washington State and Idaho. 2:46 to play, first quarter. Alex, overall thoughts on what you've seen from both teams so far?
Well, first I have to say Dr. Tingstad is the best there is. Excited to have Doc on. He is the man. For me, you talked about the feeling out process for these coordinators. For offensive coordinator Danny Freund, I think he's seen that the strength of this Idaho defense is in that linebacking core, right? Isaiah King, the veteran, 6'3", 215 pounds, 48 tackles last year. Dylan Lane, number 21. He's going to need to get the ball outside, out of the box, to put pressure on a young secondary and use the speed for Washington State's offense. Too much happening in between the tackles right now. Got to stretch that Vandal team sideline to sideline.
Cougs have had 2 possessions on offense, but only 11 yards to show for it. Both times pinned back deep. That last possession started at the 3-yard line. Did have 2nd and 1, though, from their own 11, and took a 3-yard loss. Ultimately had to punt. After the Cougar punt, Vandals another good starting field possession on this possession. From midfield, Wood takes the snap, hands it off to Art Williams. Williams goes by one Coug and is able to turn his legs forward. Solid pickup for Art Williams. He gets 7 yards on the carry. Williams, someone the Vandals think highly of, redshirt sophomore out of Rocky Mountain High School, the Idaho native from Meridian.
Pretty good surface for the Idaho Vandal offense to run that play. Isaac Terrell, the defensive ends, kind of squeezed down inside. Linebackers outside. Vandals have a tight end on that, 2 tight ends on that same side, and allows them to get an edge for Cummings to hit that downhill, or Williams, to hit that downhill.
On 2nd and 3, play action. Wood sets his feet, flushed out from behind. He's going to tuck, going to run, spins around, still going, and knocked down after getting a good chunk. He'll be marked down at the 32-yard line. Max Balloon ultimately with the tackle, but a good pickup there for Joshua Wood. Someone talking to Jesse Bob, a Cougar defensive coordinator, said Wood's got some moxie to him.
Yeah, you see it right there. Isaac Terrell came off the edge. Great pass rush move. Ripping around the outside of right tackle Keegan Henson. And that forced Wood up in the pocket. And as soon as Wood saw that he had that opening, he put his head down and he ran, put a great move on the young linebacker, Anthony Polano, and able to pick up a first down.
No long plays in this game. Neither team has had an explosive play. The Vandals have had first downs. The Cougs have not. It's the 3rd Vandal first down, and now Thomas Ford will be forced to use a timeout. 1:17 to play on the first quarter. No score. we haven't really been able to get kind of a clean slate from Jackson Potter.
Idaho, their first of the half.
And the offense.
30-second timeout.
With the timeout on the field, we'll remind you, Cougar Nation, each time you bring your Toyota vehicle to be serviced at a local and participating Toyota dealership, you can receive a premium Washington State giveaway item as a member of the Toyota Rewards Program. Stay tuned for more information on how to become a Rewards Program member. Joshua Wood, again, the background on him from Graham Kapowsin High School, went to Fresno State. He had one carry in last year's game when the Cougs were down in Fresno playing the Bulldogs. His dad, Victor, a wide receiver and returner for the Cougs, had a standout game in the 88 Aloha Bowl that went over Houston, had 228 all-purpose yards in the dramatic 24-22 victory. So the Vandal quarterback is someone who grew up watching WSU, his dad's alma mater.
Watch my quarterback coach, Tim Rosenbaugh. Is the quarterback for that 88 team.
After the Idaho timeout, again, no score. Cougs 11 total yards of offense on 2 possessions where they've been pinned back deep in their own territory. Vandals 3 first downs, 55 yards. They're at the Cougar 31. 1st and 10, Art Williams remains in the game. Joshua Wood takes the snap, gives to Williams. Big hole on the outside, but that is plugged up quickly. Williams, a gain of 2. On the edge for Washington State, Jack Janikowski helping to make the stop. The younger brother of former Coug kicker Dean Janikowski.
The Coug D-line so far has played really well, whether you talk about Janikowski or Terrell.
Vandals with tempo here. Screen pass to the outside. Emerson Cortez Minjavar hauls in the pass, but not a whole lot there as he is able to get a positive pickup, but they mark him down at the 27. So still a sizable 3rd down coming up for the Vandals.
Humphrey and Polano out there defeating blocks. Able to close down on Minjavar quickly. Force him out of bounds. Sets up this 3rd and long.
Crowd getting into it here at Giesa Field. Still, there's been a very much feeling out process of this game. Getting close to the end of the first quarter. Big play here. 3rd and 6 for the Vandals. No score at the Cougar 27. Blitz come. Wood gets rid of it and forced to throw quickly. It's out of the reach of his intended target. The running back, Art Williams. He was feeling the pressure, and it's 4th down for Idaho.
First time we've seen some pressure packages from this defense. Jesse Bobbitt brings the field blitz. Caleb Francel, a fast player at that nickel outside linebacker spot, comes through clean, speeds up Joshua Wood's process to force that incompletion.
It'll be a 44-yard field goal attempt for Idaho kicker Cameron Pope out of Eastmont High School in East Wenatchee. Went 17 of 23 last year. On the far hash, here's the snap. The hold is down. The kick is up. He's got the leg for it. It will be wide left, no good. Pope misses the field goal, and the Cougs, that feels like the biggest shot in the arm that the Washington State fans here at Giesa Field has had in this game. It's just been nothing explosive so far, but a little momentum there for Washington State. And shoot, Alex, they're going to start with good field position after really being pinned back on the first 2 offensive possessions.
Yeah, let's see if they can play complementary football. The defense has played great early so far. Early returns on this Jesse Bobbitt defense are really good. I love the way they fly around, make plays. They're forcing the offense to earn every yard, and now the Washington State offense is out on the field. It's their turn to see if they can put some pressure on this Idaho Vandal team.
Might be the last play of the first quarter. No score between Washington State and Idaho. 16 seconds to go in the first quarter. Kirby Voorhees to the left of Jackson Potter. Cougs get it from their own 27. Potter takes the snap into the flat, finds Voorhees at dangerous weapons, lowers his shoulders, and gets a couple of extra yards after first contact. He makes it to the 30-yard line. A gain of 3 on first down. There's an interesting comparison here Danny Freund made about Kirby Voorhees. Talked about little Cameron Scadaboo in him, who was so good at Sac State and then very notably at Arizona State.
Right. Yeah, that's a good comparison.
That is the end of the first quarter.
Well, that is going to do it for the first quarter. No score for either the Cougs or the Vandals here in the Battle of the Palouse, but Jackson Potter and the Washington State offense with their best field position of the day. It will be 2nd and 6 when we return. Palouse After Dark, a gorgeous Cougar football Saturday here in Pullman. We'll be back after this break. You're listening to Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
When putting in a tree or fence post, we all hate it when our shovel hits a big rock. But there are worse things to come across, like a natural gas or electric line. Nowadays, buried utilities are everywhere, some just below the surface. That's why it's the law to call 811 before you dig, to have your lines marked ahead of time. It's free for Avista residential customers. So call 811 2 business days before you dig. You need time to pick out that perfect shrub anyway. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
RV buyers, it's a fact. Jayco builds America's best-selling models with superior engineering, Amish craftsmanship, and the best in the business warranty. Valley RV Supercenter is America's top volume Jayco store because they make them affordable. For comfort and reliability, there's no better choice than Jayco. And for a great buy, there's no better choice than Valley RV Supercenter. Stop by and see them in Kent and check out their full Jayco lineup. Or visit ValleyRVSupercenter.com, where journeys begin.
Keep your summer fun going in the best-selling Toyota Tacoma. Now through September 2nd, get 4.75 APR financing on a powerful new 25 Tacoma. Excludes TRD Pro and Trail Hunter. Or you can lease a new 25 Tacoma SR5 double cab for just $299 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. A negotiable doc fee of up to $200 may be added. Call 1-888-48-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
We start the second quarter at Giesa Field. Anyone that's a Coug gets goosebumps right now. There's no score between Washington State and Idaho, but it's the back home video. Jess, what's it feel like down on the field to see the video played and what this means to the crowd here at Giesa Field?
Yeah, well, scoreless doesn't mean vibeless down here because you can see the stadium going absolutely insane. Everybody's got their phone flashlights on. It looks like a concert from the 70s, really, if lighters still existed. But it's pretty cool. And I've been actually keeping tabs because this is the first time we're seeing Jimmy Rogers in true action as the head coach besides the spring game. And I like to watch what he's doing, and he is an all-ball guy. I had the pleasure of having him in studio over in Seattle, got to meet him and talk to him, and he is just all ball. However, he is not losing it. Obviously, he'd probably like to see Jackson Potter in better positions to even start out the drives that he has been at the helm for in his first start for Washington State, but he's not losing it on anybody. He's letting his coaches coach and just making sure that the tone is very, very calm out here, but not too calm, right? It's still all ball. I'm going to keep on watching him and see how he treats the rest of this game. We'll keep you updated.
Well, thank you, Jess. And that extra pop you heard from the crowd was in the back home video when they played the footage from the Apple Cup last year. Kyle Thornton's big stop, the Apple Cup trophy being thrusted in the air, and always brings a smile to my face in that video when I see the guy right next to me in there, Alex Brink. Alex, here we are, one quarter in, and we still don't know a lot. I mean, this game, it just feels like we're in the opening moments of this game because there hasn't been really anything definitive one way or the other outside of what you mentioned that the Cougar defense has played well.
Yeah, Cougar defense has played well. Offense, a little hard to tell. I like that last play again, getting Voorhees on the edge, get the ball into Jackson Potter's hands quick. We'll see if we can take advantage of that team speed for Washington State here against the Vandals.
Cougs with the ball, 2nd and 6 from their own 31. No first downs for Washington State yet. Jackson Potter, the starter, and we will have a timeout called by Jimmy Rogers. So there was 18 seconds on the play clock, but pretty clearly something that Jimmy Rogers did not like. I guess to circle back, Alex, for those who weren't with us, right when kickoff came around, that was the big storyline, quarterback position. Who won the competition? Going into the fall, Zevi Eckhouse would have been the guy who would have been pegged as the favorite, but it was going to take a heck of an effort to knock him off that spot and to be the starter. Jackson Potter did just that, and that was interesting talking to Danny Freund about it, Cougar offensive coordinator. He said, hey, all this noise around Jackson Potter, Zevi is in a great spot to win the job. He's got more experience. You bring in 2 transfers, and yet Jackson Potter just stayed focused on what he could control, and everything they charted, everything they thought, their breakdown was Jackson's our guy that puts us in the best spot.
Yeah, and again, I think that's what Coach Freund impressed upon me also was he just said Potter was flat out better and more consistent throughout the entire camp.
After the timeout, 2nd and 6 for the Cougs from the 31. The snap, play action over the middle. Pass is caught as Jackson Potter gets the Cougs' first down and finds new Coug Jeremiah Noga. You might remember that name from Oregon State, making his way from Corvallis here to Pullman. And Noga with the catch. The Cougs get the ball to the 44-yard line. Will go down as a gain of 8. And there is that first down of the night for Washington State.
Yeah, quick play action to Voorhees, and Jackson Potter pops up, delivers that glance route, that inside slant to Noga right on his face mask. Good throw from the young quarterback to Noga.
Let's see if that greases the wheels for the Coug offense. Snap, play action again. Potter with some time, flushed out to the right. Dangerous window, looks over the middle, finds Jeremiah Noga, who's wrapped out immediately, but he makes that haul in Vandal territory, down to the 38-yard line. It's going to be a 17-yard connection. A lot of chemistry we see already between Potter and Noga.
Yeah, that's some savviness right there from the young quarterback. A naked bootleg coming out. Noga's crossing the field. A linebacker turns and runs to find Noga, but he's got his back to the quarterback, and Potter knows he can locate that football just a little behind Noga. Noga sees it also. Like you said, great rapport between the two players.
Cougs didn't have a first down in the first quarter. They get him on back-to-back plays. No score. Washington State looking to change that. Here's the snap. Potter, play action again, fires a bullet, and it's to Josh Meredith inside the red zone. Pushed out of bounds, close to the 10. Boy, you could feel the zip on that ball up in the booth. Potter showing off his arm, and all of a sudden, the wheels have been greased for this WSU offense. 24-yard connection.
Yeah, Danny Freund told me Jackson Potter's the best thrower of the football he's had in his entire coaching career. You see it right there.
1st and 10 from the 13. Quick handoff. Kirby Voorhees met in the backfield as Voorhees dropped quickly for Washington State. And for Idaho, coming in, making that tackle, Trevor Miller. So the Cougs are in the red zone here for the first time this year. Washington State is in the Rose Hours red zone. And the Cougs, with 13 minutes to play in the first half, looking to break this scoreless tie. Battle the Palouse. Warm end of summer evening here at Giesa Field.
Back to my earlier point, Chris, those throws to the outside receivers, Meredith, Noga, really paying dividends, getting that ball outside the box.
Leon Neal Jr. in motion, now in the slot to the right. Potter takes the shotgun snap, finds Neal, looking to turn the corner, shoved out of bounds inside the 5. He'll be marked down at the 4. It's going to be close to the first down. It was 2nd and 11 after a 1-yard loss. So 3rd and short here will be 3rd and 1.
I love that right there. Bring Leon Neal Jr. in motion, left to right, into the slot, and then just a quick speed out. Potter delivers it right on the front side, allows Neal to rip upfield, nearly got across the pylon, sets up 3rd and short.
Brandon Ganesha-Morthy split out wide to the near side. Leighton Smithson in the slot. Here's the snap. 3rd and 1. Cougs give it to Kirby Voorhees, and nothing there. The running game has had a tough time on short yard situations. It was 3rd and 1, and again, it's a loss. There was a 2nd and 1 earlier where a similar situation unfolded, and now it is decision time. It is going to be 4th down, 4th and 3 for the Cougs from the Idaho 6-yard line, and the kicker is not coming out on the field. The offense stays out there. 20 seconds on the play clock. Potter with the Cougs huddling up. 3 tight ends in this game. Hunter Cederland, Adamola Foley, and Trey Lechner. Leo Pulalasi, the running back. In motion goes Trey Lechner. Here's the snap, rolling out to his left as Potter looks towards the end zone. Finds Josh Meredith. Touchdown, Washington State. Jackson Potter to the veteran Josh Meredith. And the Cougs strike first, taking a 6-0 lead on the 6-yard touchdown pass with 11:30 to play in the first half.
Chris, that is a heck of a throw by the young quarterback, Jackson Potter. He's rolling out to his left. The only receiver he's got
on the field is a touchdown.
Is Josh Meredith.
Over unsportsmanlike conduct for taunting, number 18 offense. It's first of the game. That penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
Josh Meredith, a little extracurriculars, and he should have. He made a beautiful diving catch. Potter threw that ball on the comeback to the only place that Meredith was going to catch it, that front pylon, and Meredith went down and got it. The veteran pass catcher coming up big for his young quarterback.
It is Jack Stevens on for the point after attempt. The kick is up and it is good. Speaking of position battles, that wasn't necessarily clear egg kicker, but Jack Stevens, the redshirt freshman out of South Carolina, the transfer from South Dakota State, punches that point after attempt through the uprights. The field goal is, or the point after attempt is good, and it is 7-0 for the Cougs. An 8-play, 73-yard drive took 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Washington State has the 7-0 lead. Cougs strike first. They hit pay dirt. 7-0. Cougs with the edge on the Vandals. 11:30 to play first half. More after this. First, though, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Cougar Sports Network. Cougs up 7-0. More after this break here. You're listening to Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State athletics. Rural communities face unique healthcare challenges. By providing hands-on opportunities for WSU students in health sciences, nursing, pharmacy, and the Elson Floyd College of Medicine, Pullman Regional Hospital is helping to shape the future of local healthcare. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
With the WSU debit card from Gisa, it's hard to tell who's supporting who. When Coug fans use their WSU card, they show off their Coug pride and donations are made back to Cougar Athletics. But the card supports the Coug fan by helping them grow their money. So does the card support the Coug fan or does the Coug fan support the card? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that the WSU card supports Cougar Athletics and your wallet at the same time. Get your WSU card at Gisa.com. Checking account transaction requirements, terms and conditions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes every moment cheering on your team even better. Plus, the mountains on the bottles and cans turn blue when your beer is Rocky Mountain cold. So you never have to guess if your Coors Light is ready to drink. So crack one open, take a sip, and enjoy the game. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Back at Gisa Field, Cougs up 7-0 on Idaho. 11:30 to play first half. A 8-play, 73-yard drive took 3 minutes and 46 seconds. 6-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Potter to Josh Meredith. We're lucky to have our very own Coug great in the booth as a quarterback. That looked awfully good, Alex. What did you think of what we saw from Jackson Potter on that drive?
Boy, Jackson Potter quickly 7 for 7, 78 yards and a touchdown. And you saw right there what the coaches love about him, right? He can do a little bit of everything. He's got the quick fake, pops up and rips one into Jeremiah Noga. Then comes right back and on the run and throws a beautiful touch ball to Noga again, followed by that drop back pass. He rips to Josh Meredith to get down into the red zone and finishes it off, moving to his left, throwing on the run, throws a pinpoint ball for the touchdown on 4th and 4, a high-pressure moment. Jackson Potter, this does not look too big for him, the redshirt sophomore making his first start from Huntington Beach.
And I don't care who you are, those first two drives for the Cougs, you're in a tough spot. And again, I know the phrase used by Danny Freund, having this conversation with the Coug OC, is sometimes the boring play is not a bad player. You know, paraphrasing there is, here's the kickoff. Emerson Court says Minjavar will bring it back to the 25. Met up, spun around. Leighton Smithson in to help make the tackle. There was the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, so the Cougs were pushed further back on the kickoff. Still pretty good by the special teams to limit the Vandals to only being at the 28-yard line. So this isn't necessarily an offense where, you know, good offense equals limiting mistakes. That is a direct quote from a conversation with Danny Freund. So you're pinned back deep on those first two drives. Potter didn't try to do too much. Cougs had to punt it. You get him halfway decent field position, and we got to see what he did there on that drive.
No doubt. And it was less of that interior run game and just letting Jackson Potter distribute the ball to his playmakers on the outside, and it was very effective.
Joshua Wood back out at quarterback for Idaho. Here's the snap, the turn and give to Elijah Cummings, and he is swallowed up quickly. Anthony Polano making the stop, just a gain of 1 yard. Polano's going to be a fun guy to talk about, hopefully for a long time in Crimson and Gray, but certainly this year, redshirt freshman, thrust in as the starting will linebacker, but maybe not even thrust is the right word. Keith Brown was there, a lot of experience, but they were high on Polano. But with Brown's injury, Polano really is the guy there.
Yeah, and Polano, in high school, multi-sport athlete, played a lot of offense and kind of got thrown into defense late and then has really blossomed into a great defender. Played a little bit at South Dakota State last year and has emerged as a dynamic playmaker.
2nd and 9 for the Vandals from their own 29. Wood flushed out of the pocket, will tuck and run. This is where he's dangerous. He will have the first down. Is the ball loose? The ball's loose. The Cougs grab it. Washington State strips the ball away from Vandal quarterback Joshua Wood, and Washington State recovers it. How about that? The Cougs put together a long touchdown drive. 2 plays later, it's the Cougs who get the turnover. Ray and Stevenson making it happen there for the Cougs. Washington State's going to get great field position in Vandal territory.
Yeah, and the safety, Tucker Large, comes up, makes first contact, and then between Ram Stevenson and Malaki Taase, following back, that defensive line coming in hard and putting that extra hit on Josh Wood, pops that ball loose and ultimately recovered by Washington State.
So they'll give Taase credit, forcing the fumble. Ram Stevenson right there. He gets the recovery. And the Cougs cooking here. 7-0 Washington State up on Idaho. A sleepy first quarter here at Giesa Field, but that has changed in Washington State's favor here to start the second quarter. 10:31 to play first half. 7-0 Cougs up on the Vandals. More after this. You're listening to the Cougar Sports Network.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. Rural communities face unique healthcare challenges. By providing hands-on opportunities for WSU students in health sciences, nursing, pharmacy, and the Elson Floyd College of Medicine, Pullman Regional Hospital is helping to shape the future of local healthcare. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
This September, you could be leaving Northern Quest in something different. A lot different. As in, the whole neighborhood suddenly has a staring problem when you roll up in a new GMC Canyon. Different. It's our $160,000 Grander Canyon giveaway. With 2 2025 GMC Canyons up for grabs, plus thousands in cash prizes. You know, for the extra garage space you're about to need. The Grander Canyon giveaway. Grand prize drawing September 8th and 29th. Only at Northern Quest.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Earn your bragging rights in Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. Washington State a 7-0 lead on Idaho. In a 59-second span, the Cougs get a touchdown, and then Malaki Taase forces a fumble, recovered by Ram Stevenson, and the Coug offense ready to take back over. Jess, how was that on the sidelines? Really seemed like a shot in the arm there for the Cougs, just that short sequence between those 2 big plays.
Yeah, I think that was probably the best thing that could have happened because, like you said, sleepy first quarter doesn't even begin to describe that scoreless first bit of action that we saw, if you want to even call it that. But this crowd got so fired up for that first touchdown, and I think it was led by their excitement for the drive because the Cougs have been backed up in their own offensive territory so many times, and they actually watched Jackson Potter cook for the first time. And then the turnover to watch it again, they're pumped.
Well, Potter and the Cougs back out on the field and with excellent field position. Washington State at the Vandal 45-yard line. 10:31 to play first half. Really good crowd here at Giesa Field. 7-0 Washington State with the lead. 73-yard touchdown drive engineered by Potter on that last Cougar possession. Here's the snap to give up the middle to Angel Johnson, and he only gets 2 yards. The Vandal defense has done a good job stopping the Cougar run game. Right now, the Cougs with 8 rushing yards, the Vandals with 56. But the Cougs have done damage so far. It's been on that last drive with Potter's arm.
At the interior of this Cougar offensive line, new left guard Johnny Lesser, center Brock Dew, who played one game at center last year, but primarily a guard, and then AJ Vaipulu to transfer. They're having a hard time moving the interior of the Idaho defensive line and creating push, which is making those running backs kind of chop their feet in the backfield, and then the linebackers are able to come up and make plays.
Trips to the right of Jackson Potter. Here's the snap. Leo Pulalasi out there. Pump fake goes to Josh Meredith and overthrows Meredith. That pump fake in the flat to Pulalasi. The Vandals bit. Meredith was open. And Potter flawless really on that last drive with his arm. That one too much mustard on it. Cougs would have had a chunk play there.
Yeah, ball sailed on Jackson Potter. He had him. Like you said, the little motion to run a bubble, fake it to Pulalasi, and then have Meredith stock block and leak down the sideline. Really well designed play. Ball just came out of Potter's hand. Not very good, and sailed out of bounds.
First incompletion for Potter of the game. Now 7 of 8 for the Cougar starter. Cougs with it 3rd and 8 at the Vandal 43. Washington State up 7-0, looking to build on that lead. Cougs getting the ball. Great field possession after forcing the fumble. Pressure coming. Potter gets rid of it, and with the pressure has to leave it short. Intended for Brandon Ganeshamorthy past the sticks. But the heat being brought by the Vandals makes a difference. What's Jimmy Rogers going to do? You're kind of in this tweener land here, Alex, and I don't see the punter Ryan Harris, who did shank one of his 2 punts, coming out on the field. The offense remains.
Yeah, aggressive. See, second time Jimmy Rogers being aggressive. 4th and 4 inside the 10 led to a touchdown. Now you got this 4th and 8. We already saw Idaho 0 blitz on that 3rd down right there. I'd imagine they're going to try and bring some pressure potentially at young quarterback Jackson Potter.
Leo Pulalasi, the running back. Potter takes the shotgun snap, and a little punt off the foot of Jackson Potter. Well executed down to the 10, inside the 5, and this will be almost perfection. Marked down at the 3-yard line. So Potter making it happen with his foot as well, and the punt works to perfection.
Yeah, really well executed by Potter, and Aaron Kinsey, the young freshman, redshirt freshman for Idaho, almost made a terrible mistake. He should have just let the ball go. He decides to try and down it inside the 5 with Coug defenders around there. If for some reason that ball squirts out of his grasp, that would have been Coug football. So, again, the quick thinking on the quick kick led to what could have been an error for Idaho. Either way, the Vandals inside the 5-yard line.
Cougs can't capitalize on great field position after the Vandal fumble, but they do push Idaho back here as they will take over at their own 3-yard line. Time out on the field. We'll step aside ourselves. First half here at Giesa Field, 9:25 to play. Washington State up on Idaho 7-0. This is Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Hampton and Pullman is just a short drive from the Wazoo campus. They've got you covered for all your lodging and dining needs with a new addition of their on-site bar and restaurant, Crimson Bar and Bites. You will feel right at home with their spacious rooms, famous Hampton waffles, cozy outdoor patios, Cougar gift shop, and the friendliest staff in town. Visit HamptonbyHilton.com to reserve a room for your next trip to the Palouse. Coug owned and Coug managed. It matters where you stay. Hampton and Pullman. Hilton for the stay.
If you use natural gas, you recognize its blue flame. But natural gas is actually invisible and odorless. That's why Avista adds a rotten egg scent, in case there's ever a leak. If you smell natural gas at home, get outside fast. Don't flip switches or do anything to cause a spark. Go somewhere safe. Call 911. Then Avista. We'll take care of the problem and tell you when it's okay to return. Till then, it's a good excuse to visit the neighbors. Avista. We just want you to be safe.
The Swinging Doors in Spokane has been family owned and operated since 1981. Open at 8 a.m. every day, with breakfast once again being served all day. The kitchen is open until 9 p.m. on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and open till 10 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday. With over 50 TVs, come watch your favorite team in action, including Cougar games. The Swinging Doors in Spokane, a great place to meet, eat, and have fun.
Ready to book your next global getaway? Earn more rewards more often with Atmos Rewards by Alaska Airlines and Hawaiian Airlines. It's the #1 airline rewards program according to U.S. News and World Report, and your invitation to explore over 1,000 plus global destinations. Well, welcome back to Giesa Field. The lights are on in full effect here on this gorgeous Saturday night on the Palouse. Season opener, Washington State up on Idaho 7-0. We've got the whole gang here. Jessamine McIntyre down on the field, our engineer Jerry Kylo, Austin Samuels our spotter, Chris King next to Alex Brink. Alex, it was a sleepy first quarter how we described it, but definitely picking up and in favor of the Cougs here in the second quarter.
Very much so. Defensive pressure Cougs have put on the Vandals, starting to cause issues. Forced the fumble last drive. Now they're backed up inside the 5-yard line. Offense obviously caught fire for that drive with Potter. Let's see if the defense can back it up again.
1st and 10 from their own 3. They give it to the fullback Hayden Kinchlow, who pinballs his way to the 5. Maybe they get him to the 6. They will mark him down there. So a gain of 3 for Hayden Kinchlow. So more of that fullback who's been around the program for a while for Idaho, getting some run in this game.
Surprised we haven't seen from offensive coordinator Matt Linehan getting Joshua Wood out on the edge a little bit so he can use his legs but also see the field in the pass game.
Brings up 2nd and 7. Cougs in their crimson tops, gray pants, gray helmets. Vandals, white bottoms, white tops, black helmets. Vandals in the Pride Gold cursive script on the front. Pistol formation. Cummings, the running back. The snap. They give to Cummings on 2nd and 7. Looking for the edge. Shakes a Coug, and how much did he get on the perimeter? He'll be close to the first down marker. Who stepped out maybe a hair earlier. It was on the far sideline in front of Washington State. They mark him down at the 9. So still 3rd and a decent chunk to go. It will be 3rd and 4 for Idaho.
Could have been even better for Washington State. Matthew Durant's had a free run through that outside gap to try and take down Elijah Cummings. Made contact but didn't wrap up. Allowed Cummings to get a couple extra yards. Parker McKenna stepped up, really delivered a blow. You saw the good contact balance, though, from Cummings, able to break a tackle and then get down the sideline.
Joshua Wood, the Vandal quarterback, fumbled on that last drive, but dangerous with his legs. Takes the snap, going to be flushed out of the pocket, runs to his left, fakes the toss, looking for a block, and he'll get pushed out of bounds. Well, there's a flag after. It looks like he probably has enough by about a yard, but a late flag thrown, and Wood has his palms up in the air. That's usually the sign of frustration.
It's going to be on him. He pushed the defender's helmet down into the ground. I mean, just an egregious error by the quarterback. Joshua Wood, he's got to have a better feel than that. Looked like Caleb Francel was the Coug defender he pushed.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit, number 3 offense. Penalties half the distance to the goal. The play did result in a first down.
So the good news for the Vandals is that play doesn't erase getting the first down. They picked it up by a yard, but for Washington State, that sees Idaho get pushed back inside their own 10-yard line. 7-0, Cougs up, just under 8 minutes to play in the first half. A lot of this game for both offenses has been sent inside their own 15-yard line on both sides.
And not great field position for either offense early in this game.
1st and 10, but the ball at the Vandals 7-yard line for Idaho. Elijah Cummings must have been that featured back for the Vandals. He's to the left of Joshua Wood. Wood takes the snap on the option. Will keep it for himself. He's got some room. Finally upended, but that could have been really bad for the Cougs. It is Tucker Large, the impact transfer from South Dakota State, who makes the stop, but Wood able to rumble out to the 19 and get the first down.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake from the Washington State defense in pre-snap alignment. Parker McKenna shifted inside the box, gave up leverage, got blocked by the tight end on that speed option.
Quick snap after the 12-yard pickup. Wood rolls out to his right. Feeling the pressure from behind, tries to stiff arm one Coug. It's Anthony Polano, and finally able to help as well as Caleb Francel to force him out of bounds and bring him to the turf. Short gain. It will be 2 yards for Joshua Wood. Again, 7-0. Cougs with the lead. Jackson Potter, the starting quarterback for Washington State. And now it feels like we're kind of slipping back into that feeling out still, where neither team has been able to really harness much momentum with a lot of consistency.
Vandal offense is having a hard time figuring out this Coug defense other than Joshua Wood's legs kind of off schedule. They've had a hard time being in rhythm and executing plays, which kudos to this defense.
Makes it 2nd and 7 for the Vandals from their own 21. Snap pressure coming. Quick pass, and it is caught near the first down marker. Tackle made immediately by Kenny Worthy III, returner for the Cougs, who's a redshirt freshman. And let's see, that's going to be enough for the first down. Second catch of the game for Ryan Giziaro.
Good delivery by Joshua Wood. Just a curl route by Giziaro, wrapping in behind Colby Humphrey, who's playing the slot defender, which brought Worthy in, like you said, to play the corner position. Worthy just giving up a little too much distance between himself and the receiver. Allowed for that first down completion.
8 yards, all that was needed. 1st and 10 for the Vandals at their own 29. Coug defense has been strong in this game. Snap to Wood, has some time, gets rid of it, and this is going to be caught. Again, close to the first down marker. Tight window there for Idaho, but able to connect with Ryan Giziaro. Interesting, he played one game last year, redshirted, but here he is having a pretty sizable role in game number 1 of the season for Idaho.
Yeah, that's a really nice read and throw by Joshua Wood. Cougs are playing a cloud coverage, cover 2 into the boundary, but to the field playing cover 4. That means the corner's going to be off the receiver, Giziaro. Wood diagnoses it and delivers that outcut to the sideline, to the wide side of the field. A really, really big-time throw from Joshua Wood.
Idaho's had 7 first downs in this game. The Cougs with 4, but they all came on the 1 touchdown drive for Washington State. 5 minutes to play first half here in Pullman. Cougs up 7-0. Vandals with the ball. It is 1st and 10. Wood gets rid of it. Art Williams makes the catch, but boy, right there to meet him, Colby Humphrey, the veteran cornerback, first-year Coug. He's played in 39 career games, over 1,700 snaps, and he was right there to make that tackle, just a gain of 3 on the pass to the Vandal running back.
Yeah, I like that scheme from Jesse Bobbitt. When you got a player like Caleb Francel in at nickel, it allows you to be very multiple. So on the snap, he runs to the deep half of the wide side of the field. Tucker Large comes to the middle of the field, and then you have Colby Humphrey rolling up and able to hit the the receiver after that short gain in the flat.
At their own 42, 2nd and 7, delayed handoff finally goes into the tummy of Art Williams. Williams plows ahead, close to the first down, not going to quite have it. 3rd and 1, he makes it to the 48, tackle by Tucker Large. So 6 yards there, and a 3rd and short.
Good tackle by Large. In there one-on-one with Art Williams, 5'11", 205. Large, 5'11", 183, giving up 20 pounds to Art Williams. He delivers a blow to knock him down and set up a 3rd and short.
Pistol formation right near midfield. Art Williams behind Joshua Wood. Here's the snap, the handoff to Williams. Gets the edge, has the first down, and he'll be tackled right at midfield. So another first down for Idaho. It's when Idaho's had success, they've just chipped away. There's been nothing explosive, so that's a tip of the cap to the Cougar defense and Jesse Bobbitt. But here Idaho is able to move the sticks. Is just for the 2nd time tonight, or actually the 3rd time tonight, they're in Cougar territory. They did have a field goal attempt. Cameron Pope missed a 44-yarder. Jackson Potter had a great drive for the Cougs. Josh Meredith had that touchdown, giving us our 7-0 score, but it's 3 minutes left to go in this first half. The Cougar 49. The snap, the give to Williams, has some space, met by Tucker Large and brought down. The first thing the Cougar coaching staff has said about Tucker Large, instinctual, knows the game so well. And the South Dakota State transfer, not fooled there, just a gain of 1.
You're right, Tucker Large is that player. That was Anthony Polano, though, the middle linebacker, who is even better because Polano's a young player getting forced into action here at middle linebacker, recognizes right away that outside run and triggers. And not only does he recognize it, he makes a great tackle one-on-one with a good running back.
That's incredible to see from Polano, the redshirt freshman. 2nd and 9. Option pitch. Wood trying to get rid of it, and he is met immediately like a freight train, but a flag gets thrown. It makes you think that, was it a face mask, Alex, or a hit to the head? But he was met right away off the edge.
I don't know. I mean,
we're trying to watch the replay to see.
Run. Personal foul. Face mask, number 58 defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
I thought I heard 58, but that doesn't match. Elijah Tucker not out there. So if it's 98 what they said,
or
lucky to Ase.
Yeah, it's Taase.
Correction, the player was number 98.
That's too bad. He made first contact. Good adjustment into that speed option play by Jesse Baba, and Taase got a free run and made the hit, and then Woods slipped out of it just a little bit and forced Taase to grab, and he grabbed the face mask, and very, very obvious personal foul.
That's tough, because instead of it being 2nd and long and the Vandals back in their own territory, it's 1st and 10 for Idaho, and they've got it at the Cougar 33-yard line, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. Wow. This second quarter has flown by. This first half has flown by. 1:55 to go in the half. The Cougs looking to tighten up on defense and keep it a goose egg on the scoreboard in what has been a low-scoring game. They're trying to keep Idaho scoreless before they head to the locker room. 7-0, Washington State up. More from Giesa Field after this break. You're listening to the Cougars Sports Network.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. Rural communities face unique healthcare challenges. By providing hands-on opportunities for WSU students in health sciences, nursing, pharmacy, and the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine, Pullman Regional Hospital is helping to shape the future of local healthcare. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
Whether you're cleaning up to host a backyard game day party or just powering through your fall projects, you can count on the performance of Steel. From blowers to chainsaws, Steel tools are built to go the distance. With legendary quality and real dealer support, you'll find the right tool and the right team for every job. Steel, proud supporter of your Washington State Cougars.
This September, you could be leaving Northern Quest in something different. A lot different. As in, the whole neighborhood suddenly has a staring problem when you roll up in a new GMC Canyon. Different. It's our $160,000 Grander Canyon giveaway. With 2 2025 GMC Canyons up for grabs, plus thousands in cash prizes. You know, for the extra garage space you're about to need. The Grander Canyon giveaway. Grand prize drawing September 8th and 29th. Only at Northern Quest.
Download the WSU Cougars mobile app today, which features all the latest news. Plus, it's your way to stream all of the Cougar Sports Network radio broadcasts. Listen to Cougar football and more for free with the WSU Cougars Game Day app. Take our broadcast with you wherever you go. Available now in the Apple App Store or Google Play. Got the whole crew here for the season opener. Jessamine McIntyre down on the field. Jerry Kylo, our engineer. Up here in the booth, Chris King next to Alex Spring. Cougs up 7-0 on Idaho. At the 2-minute warning, Alex, for those just joining us, kind of the big headlines, Jackson Potter's the starter, and then in this one there was one really outstanding Cougar drive. Besides that, it's been fairly pedestrian from both teams, but the Vandals have a chance here to potentially tie this one up before halftime.
You mentioned earlier, Vandals kind of chipping away a little bit at the Coug defense, getting into some 3rd and shorts, taking advantage of obviously a big penalty there with the face mask, gets them into plus territory. See if the Washington State defense can hold up. In general, though, this has very much felt like a first game of the season with 2 new head coaches where some procedural penalties pre-snap, some inconsistencies on both offensive and defensive schemes.
Vandals after the face mask penalty with the ball at the Washington State 33. It's 1st and 10. I also want to mention this crowd has been great here. This is a really good turnout for this game.
One of the best Labor Day crowds I've seen here in a long time.
Well said, yes. Really good turnout for this game. Here it is, 1st and 10 out of the pistol. The snap to give to Elijah Cummings. Juke moves, shakes Tucker large, and he will get a 6-yard gain, and that is a big but. There is a flag thrown behind the line of scrimmage. It looks like this one will be coming back for the Vandals.
Yeah, it's going to be a hold on the Vandals. And again, Anthony Polano putting all sorts of pressure on the Vandal offensive line.
Offense number 33, 10-yard penalty. Replay the down.
One thing to keep an eye on, I thought I saw Colby Humphrey, that starting cornerback for the Cougs, hobbling a little bit after that. Humphrey, there's 2 cornerbacks the Cougs feeling really good about. Jamari Colson, the returner, and Colby Humphrey, who's played a lot of football between South Dakota State and Northern Arizona. But Humphrey seemed to be limping off a little bit after that play, and Kenny Worthy III in his spot now. So the holding penalty Well, the penalties give it, the penalties take it, depending on your perspective here. After the face mask penalty against the Cougs, the holding penalty makes it 1st and 20. And now the Vandals are at the Washington State 43. Cougs up by 7, 1:53 to play first half. Cummings to the right of Wood. He takes the snap. Wood unloads, has a man. The pass is going to be caught by Michael Graves, but he fumbles the ball. It's punched around. Who comes away with it? There's a pile at the 5-yard line. Graves, a big target, hauled it in, but loses the ball. And the Cougs are pointing their direction. Let's see here, waiting for official word. And coming away with it, popping out of the pile, is Tucker Large. That was going to give the Vandals the ball not only in the red zone, but inside the 10 at Washington State.
A catch and a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Washington State.
Forces their second fumble of the game that they're able to recover. And goodness, was that a timely one for the Cougs.
What a big play by Tucker Large. He actually got beat on this play. He should be the player over the top of Graves. Good throw by Josh Wood. Graves hauls it in as Large delivers the hit. Graves is able to break out of it and then just flat drops the ball as he's trying to tuck it away. And it was Large who hustled back to get there to grab that ball and pull it away from the Vandal receiver.
The ruling on the field of a catch and a fumble is now under review.
And here is where, when they showed that replay up on the video board here, there is a sizable Vandal contingent at Giesa Field tonight, and you could hear them moan, and you could see the Vandal sideline trying to make the incomplete motion. So that's what Thomas Ford and company will be hoping for here. We'll watch that replay again. You gave an excellent breakdown of how that all happened.
He definitely made moves with the ball. I guess the question is whether he had control, because when Large made the hit, he kind of bobbled it just a little bit and was trying to regain control, but he kind of trapped it against his leg. This will be interesting to see.
It's very interesting as we watch this replay again.
That's a catch and a fumble.
As it was Tucker Large right there. As you said, Large got beat, but Large also battling to jostle that ball with every bit that he could, and Graves just couldn't get his hands quite on it. And I thought, too, Alex, as we looked at this, I thought Idaho had kind of a better angle at the ball when it was clearly a fumble, and yet it was the Cougs who came away from the pile.
Well, I couldn't see. Somebody punched the ball back when it was on the ground. Somebody punched it back. And Graves reached out and grabbed it with one arm, and that's when Large slid in there, and he grabbed it with two hands, and that's what happens under the pile is whoever's got two hands on the ball starts to rip that thing away, and then everybody else is trying to push the other player away.
The receiver never did control the ball completely. The ruling on the field has changed to an incomplete pass. It'll be second down at the 41-yard line.
Well, pretty about that one, but
sizable turn of events there. The Vandals were on the cusp. It looked like it turning the ball over. Instead, with 1:36 to go, both teams with 2 timeouts. Cougs up 7-0 as the first half is getting closer and closer to a close here. So they have the ball, second down at the Cougar 41-yard line. But still, I think a lot of credit when Tucker Large was beat, didn't give up on the play.
Right.
And instead of it being a fumble, still had it an incompletion because that ball would have been down on the 5-yard line had he been able to hang on to it. That would have been the first explosive play of the game for Idaho. They have been kind of death by 1,000 paper cuts, and it hasn't quite been a death. They've been solid. They have 134 yards. Cougs with 86, but you look at the total number of plays, there have been 32 for Idaho, 17 for the Cougs. Second and 10 for the Washington State 41. Snap back to Wood. 4-man rush. Wood unloads near the Vandals sideline, and he airmails his intended target. Looking for a guy who's kind of emerged as his safety blanket, Ryan Giziaro, who played in just one game last year, but a big jump for him from his redshirt year to his redshirt freshman year.
Yeah, and even though that was a miss, you're really seeing the arm talent from Josh Wood throwing from left hash all the way to the outside of the numbers on the far side of the field.
Let's go down the sideline. Jess, we talked about Colby Humphrey limping off. What's the latest with him?
sideline, but didn't go into the injury tent. He is looking at right leg. The medical and athletic training staff were looking at his right leg. Recommended ice for the halftime, but he hasn't been carted off in any way, shape, or form. Could just be icing at the half and hopefully return in the second.
3rd and 18 here. The Cougs looking for a stop on 3rd and long from their own 41. Handoff, nothing there. It's a loss for the Vandals. And while for a moment it looked like Idaho was going to hit on their first play over 20 yards of the night, instead
Washington
a fumble,
State,
then
their second of the half.
overturned
This will be a 30-second timeout.
to be an incompletion, but the Vandal defense stays stiff. A lot of high fives and hugs for Bryson Lamb, as Lamb, just like a big grizzly bear, makes his way and wreaks havoc on that play. So the Cougs take a timeout. They have one more to go. We saw in that one drive that by far and away the best drive for both teams. It was the touchdown drive, 8 plays, 73 yards, 3 minutes and 46 seconds. The Cougs could move the ball. 1:24 left to go. Washington State on this 4th and 23, looking to receive the punt and try to get some more points, add on to that lead before both teams head to the locker room.
Boy, I really like what I'm seeing from this Cougar defensive line so far in this game. It's been a little bit of everybody. That time you mentioned Bryson Lamb pursuing the backside from his 3 technique and making the play in the backfield.
LJ Harm on to punt. Gets this one off from the Vandal 45. Tony Freeman calls for a fair catch, and he will be marked down at the 10. He's called for fair catches. Those first 2, especially the second one, maybe should have let it go as he called for a fair catch at the 3-yard line. So 90 yards with Jackson Potter and company will have to navigate if they're going to add another touchdown to the tally before halftime. 7-0 Washington State up on Idaho. And again, to kind of hit the rewind button, Alex, for those just tuning in, wondering who is going to be the starting quarterback, what would you say about Jackson Potter, what we've seen from him, and what we have learned about how he won this job?
Honestly, I think Danny Froy needs to put the ball in Jackson Potter's hands a little bit more. I've really liked what I've seen. He's had 1 miss to Josh Meredith. Other than that, I think he's made good decisions. He's delivered the ball effectively. He's been in some tough situations. He's been backed up probably 3 out of 5 drives, 4 out of 6 drives in this game, and he's got another one here.
Whistles blowing. Don't see a flag. It's going to be a timeout taken by Thomas Ford and the Idaho Vandals.
Timeout. Idaho. Their second of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Ford, an interesting path to becoming the head coach of the Vandals. The Ford family, very well known in football circles. His brother Tracy, a very notable trainer in the Seattle area. Thomas Ford spent time as the coach at Stadium High School in Tacoma. He was the coach at a program that no longer exists, Simon Fraser, an NAI school, the only NAI school that was playing football in Canada, but they no longer have football. Then he went to UW. He was on Jimmy Lake's staff and connected with Jason Eck when Jason Eck became the Idaho coach, a very successful 2-year run. Translated that in becoming the running backs coach at Oregon State last year. And when Jason Eck left to take the job at New Mexico after really a fabulous 3 years in Moscow, it's Thomas Ford who takes the helm, and he's the leader of the program.
And part of the reason he got that job was how well liked he was amongst the players and staff at University of Idaho, and that recruiting prowess you alluded to.
After the timeout, 1st and 10. Potter takes the snap. Quick pass, bobbled and dropped by Tony Freeman. Potter put it right on his paws, but it was Tony Freeman who could not hang on. That was going to be close, if not a first down. Instead, it's an incompletion, 2nd and 10.
And Freeman's got to catch that ball in his hands. He lets it get into his pads. Potter delivered it right on his numbers. He's got to extend out, catch the ball in his hands, and rip up field. It's a mistake by number 0, Tony Freeman.
Cougs have over 40 less yards than Idaho, but the Vandals have put the Cougs in a position where Washington State's had worse field position in this game. 2nd and 10 from the 10-yard line. 4 wide receivers. Voorhees to the left of Potter. Takes the shotgun snap, 4-man rush. Gets rid of it quick, finds Tony Freeman. Well, how about that? A carbon copy of what we just saw. Freeman gets on the right side of things, makes the catch. It's a first down.
Yeah, but guess what he did, Chris? He was listening to me. He caught it in his hands that time. Same play, better execution by Tony Freeman.
Quarterback always knows what to tell a wide receiver. Potter gets rid of it quick, finds Kirby Voorhees. There wasn't a lot there. Voorhees goes scampering to the near sideline, gets out of bounds. Clock stops with 56 seconds to go. Cougs looking to extend their 7-0 lead before the end of the half. Not enough for a first down, but still a solid game when there didn't seem to be much there.
Well, and I like that from Jackson Potter. He's working to the wide side of the field through his reads, goes literally through all 5 players, and eventually gets to Voorhees and still delivers a good ball that gets Voorhees out of bounds and stops the clock.
Jeremiah Noga split out wide to the right. He was that top target of Jackson Potter. on the touchdown drive. Here's the snap on 2nd and 5. He finds Noga, plenty of space, and gets out of bounds at the 40-yard line. So for the Cougs, it's a quick gain of 15. A lot of chemistry we're seeing there between those two.
Yeah, Danny Ferentz really liked what he saw from Jeremiah Noga in camp. He's always in the right spot. He's a little faster than they thought he would be when he transferred in. He's a big-bodied receiver, 6'2", 190. He's the single receiver, wide side of the field, one-on-one. I saw it the whole way. They were going his way to the deep outcut, and Jackson Potter's got that big arm and accuracy to deliver it right to Noga for the first down.
Noga's cousin is Hercules Mataafa, so Mataafa's family would stay with Noga's family, their house in Grants Pass, Oregon, on the drive up from California to Pullman to watch him play. Here's the snap, 1st and 10. Potter from the 40, taking the heat and just getting rid of the ball. So Potter driven into the turf by Zach Krotzer, but got rid of it just in time. It will be an incompletion. Clock at 46 seconds to go in this first half. Cougs looking to expand the 7-point lead.
A good decision by Potter to throw it away. And I met Jeremiah Noga in high school. His high school quarterback, Sam Vidlak, started at Oregon State, went to Boise State. Now he's at Stephen F. Austin, one of the best quarterbacks in the FCS. Got to work with him. Noga walked on at Oregon State, earned a scholarship. Really cool story for Jeremiah Noga.
4 wide receivers for the Cougs. Angel Johnson now in the backfield. Potter takes the shotgun snap, and this play will be blown dead. It was going to be 2nd and 10. What was their movement on the line for the Cougs? They're marching backwards. The line for Potter so far, 10 of 14 for the Cougar starter, 108 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions. There has been 1 turnover in this game. The Cougs forced a fumble of Oregon State quarterback Joshua Wood.
After discussion, there is no foul on the play.
What?
It will be 2nd down.
Cougs don't mind the end result of that discussion, as it appeared to be going against Washington State. They were moving backwards. Instead, it's a mulligan, 2nd and 10. 42 seconds left to go.
Please reset the game clock to 46 seconds.
Getting field goal range. Jack Stevens was out there to kick point after attempts. Stevens has attempted 1 field goal in his career. So a bit of an unknown on what the consistency would be for a field goal kicker. Potter looking for a screen pass and throws it at the shoelaces of Angel Johnson. Really, like, better that he didn't catch it than not. It's an incompletion, and now 3rd and 10.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete forward pass, 3rd down.
That's well defended by number 96, Zach Krotzer, right there. Defensive tackle recognized that screen, kind of fell back into it. Potter smartly just burned that ball right at Angel Johnson's feet.
Cougs out of the huddle quickly. 3rd and 10, 38 seconds to go in the half. The snap, Potter throws, screen pass into the hands of Tony Freeman. Yards after the catch, pulls him forward. Does he get the first down? Ooh, initially it looked like he might, but he's going to be marked a yard shy. Cougs up on the ball. 30 seconds left to go in the half. Potter under center will be a QB sneak. He'll take it, dive over to the left, and Potter gets the first down for the Cougs. The tempo seemed to catch the Vandals flat-footed. Timeout Jimmy Rogers. We'll see the official time right now, 28 seconds. Well executed there. Always those spots in game number 1. How will things unfold when you try to pull off a 4th and short? And the Cougs, well, they get an A+ on that test.
Yeah, really well executed sequence of events by Washington State. Just a great effort by Tony Freeman, 5'8", 171-pound junior. Remember, he came over last year, College of San Mateo. He had some really good reviews in camp last year, right? He made a ton of tough catches. Early in the season, he had a couple catches, was productive against UW, and then just really never found his footing. I always thought when I saw the ball in Tony Freeman's hand, he looked really explosive. And he was one of the guys that going into this year, I was wondering who was going to take the step, right? We knew about Josh Meredith. We'd heard some good things about Jeremiah Noga, but who was the next one going to be? So far, it looks like it's been Tony Freeman's that next guy that's presenting himself to Jackson Potter.
In the Apple Cup, as you said, he had flashes. 2 catches, 46 yards, had a 32-yard catch in that road victory last year over Fresno State. And certainly a guy that Potter has turned to here. No timeouts left for the Cougs. Washington State up 7-0, looking to grow the lead before heading to the locker room. 28 seconds to play first half on this warm Labor Day weekend, Saturday in Pullman. Here's the snap to Potter. Has some time. Pump fake. Unloads deep. Finds Leighton Smithson and just throws it out of his reach. Smithson went for the Superman dive, but it eluded those white gloves, and he couldn't quite haul it in. An incompletion. 2nd and 10. 23 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, good play design. They used Tony Freeman to run to the flat. He takes the corner's eyes down with him. Leighton Smithson's running a corner route behind it. Jackson Potter's just got to put a little bit more air on that ball to allow Smithson to get underneath it. That is really, really close.
Cougs at least trying to get in field goal range. 2nd and 10. Potter has the arm if the Cougs really want to try to go deep here. The snap back to Potter. Drops back, plenty of time, steps up in the pocket. He could tuck and run here. Potter looking, fires it to Jeremiah Noga. Contested ball. Who comes away with it? Waiting for an indication. It's a battle between Jeremiah Noga and former Coug Jamel Blinman, redshirted with Washington State in 2021. And now a starting cornerback for the Vandals. Idaho is trying to make the case that they came away with the ball, but it is Jeremiah Noga, the veteran, who hung on. And to say that was a contested ball feels like an understatement.
What strong hands from Noga, because I do think that ball was in the hands of Bledman to start with.
Now under review on whether the quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball.
Right now there's 11 seconds to go in the half. The Cougs, assuming this does not get overturned, it was a gain of 13, so it's putting Washington State at the Vandal 36. Again, Jack Stevens, all signs pointing to him being the starting field goal kicker for the Cougs. He's only attempted one field goal in his career, and it was incomplete when he was at South Dakota State.
It's going to be interesting. Jackson Potter had maybe a foot on the line. Kind of, his body was definitely in front, but I think, if I remember correctly, I think the rule is any part of your body behind the line. It's just going to be where that where that right foot was, how they, how the refs deem that. Potter had a second there where if he'd just taken off and run, he may not have got the first down, but he would have gotten close to it, and they would have had a chance to maybe get up, get this first down, or spike it. He decided to wait and then force that ball into Noga just a little bit.
A reminder, coming up at halftime, Jessamine McIntyre will be with Jimmy Rogers to get the coach's thoughts on how the first half has unfolded here at Giesa Field. We'll have a special interview. Our game sponsor today, Pullman Regional Hospital, Dr. Ed Tingstad will be our guest. Looking forward to that. We'll then have the halftime report with Austin Samuels. And, of course, all the second half action. The Cougs up 7-0 on Idaho. And it looks like we have a verdict after the review.
The quarterback was completely beyond the line of scrimmage when he passed the ball. This is a foul for an illegal forward pass. It carries a 5-yard penalty and a loss of down. It will be third down Washington State. There is also a 10-second runoff on this. Please reset the game clock to 6 seconds, and it will start on my signal.
Well, if you're the Cougs, that limits what you can do here. 6 seconds left to go. We're waiting for him to march the ball off. One thing, Jackson Potter has the arm to toss up a Hail Mary.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Washington State, well, they could get, they may try and throw something quick into the boundary, see if they can get, pick up a few extra yards and have one more play on fourth down and stop the ball. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they didn't put this ball in the air and just took a knee and got out of here.
Cougs up 7-0. Jackson Potter emerging as the answer to the question Coug fans have been asking throughout fall camp. Who was going to be the starter for Washington State? Four-way battle, and Jackson Potter emerging as the winner. Potter's been solid in this first half. Alex, we'll get more of your thoughts as we get closer to the start of the second half overall. But the numbers for Potter, 12 of 18, 130 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. Really, nothing crazy as far as bad decisions go. Hasn't done anything.
After further review, the play was not over till there were 11 seconds left in the half. Therefore, the clock will be set to 1 second, and it will start on my signal.
Well, I think the knee sounds a lot more appealing now, with it going from 6 seconds to 1 second.
Right.
Of credit to the Vandals. It feels like Idaho has played within themselves as well. They had one mistake, but it was a ball that was punched out where they had a turnover on a fumble that they lost. But they've sort of kind of stuck with their offense where they've chipped away. It hasn't led to points, but they had a missed field goal attempt. They nearly had the ball inside the 5-yard line on a ball that was just incomplete to Michael Graves.
Well, and you think about this team, right? Like, they definitely lost some players. They lost a head coach and, you know, some great coaches going to New Mexico. But, you know, they returned 53 letter winners. They only bring in 19 transfers. Thomas Ford had been with most of these athletes a couple years ago. They retained the offensive coordinator, Matt Linehan. They've had some continuity, right? And you see some of their veteran players, particularly on defense, stepping up and making plays. Clearly, this moment was not too big for them.
Feels like a lot of credit goes to Thomas Ford, a lot of credit to Jason Eck, where Jason Eck kind of reinvigorated recruiting the Northwest and just brought that program kind of back to life. There were some real tough years there.
That is halftime.
So that will do it for the first half, and we've got Jets. We'll head down the field, standing by with Coach.
Coach Rogers, a unique first half there. What would you make of Jackson Potter as the first time we've seen him as a starter for the Cougs?
Yeah, he had some solid plays. You just got to get underneath himself and complete some of these balls. And we had a wide open shot over here that would have been a big play, just overthrew it. So he'll learn, but we're going to stick with him, and he'll keep competing.
What would you say about getting the running game going?
Yeah, we can't let leakage in the line right now, and they're penetrating it right now. So we'll clean some things up at halftime and be ready in the second half.
And defensively?
Great.
Thanks, Coach. Okay, that's it. Great. And you know what? Sometimes enough is said. That guy wants to get in that locker room, get the guys ready for the second half. But it is kind of a nice confirmation to get that they are going to stick with Jackson Potter. It also opens up the question whether or not that's actually a question, if there's a little flexibility with their starting quarterbacks.
Well, Jess, I think that might be the most polite, insightful, and accurate one-word answer I've ever heard. Yeah. Because
impolite.
Yes, it hit the nail on the head. Defense has been great.
It was actually, an all-encapsulating one word. Yes, I liked it a lot.
Look, I mean, anytime you can shut out an opponent in the first half as a defense, you are on the right track. So I think he is right. And also, the defense has played well. They've made big plays. They've forced a turnover. They've done a really nice job when they've been, in tougher situations where the offense has been, moving the ball.
Halftime here at Giesa Field in Pullman, Washington State up on Idaho 7-0. When we come back, we'll have our interview with Dr. Ed Tingstad from Pullman Regional Hospital. And then Austin Samuels will have the halftime report, all the second half action around the corner. 7-0, Cougs up on the Vandals. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network. Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories is a high-tech global company headquartered in Pullman, Washington, with a mission of making electric power safer, more reliable, and more economical. At SEL, employees enjoy working in a fast-paced, innovative environment while enjoying the many benefits of living on the Palouse. SEL is seeking engineers for paid internships and full-time positions. Apply to join the growing SEL team today at selinc.com/careers.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning. So you're looking for something to do? We got you. Want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you wanna do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping at the Go to Lake Casino. The Go to Lake Casino. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning.
Hey fans, how are those fries treating you? How about some cheesy nachos and a beer later on? All of these amazing treats are brought to you by farmers right here in Washington. In fact, Washington farmers raise more than 300 different crops that keep our fridges full, even when you're on a budget. Whether you shop at a box store or a local farmer's market, you can find Washington-grown food everywhere. Visit wagrown.com for more about the food we eat and the farmers who grow it.
We're joined today by Dr. Ed Tingstad, orthopedic surgeon, team physician for Cougar Athletics, and medical director of student-athlete healthcare at Washington State. It has been 1 year since WSU Athletics and Pullman Regional Hospital launched their official healthcare partnership. Dr. Tingstad, it's great to have you with us.
Thanks, Chris. Good to be here today.
Well, looking back over this first year, what stands out to you most?
Well, we've really built a team that's kind of grown and expanded. It now includes many things: injury prevention, recovery, mental health services have grown exponentially, and it feels like we now have a full team for all the kids and the community.
Well, you've been with Cougar Athletics for a long time. How has this new model changed the way that care is delivered?
For many years, it had been a patchwork of things, and now it's much bigger. We have specialists in multiple areas that have really helped us to grow and kind of serve the entire community. We get people that can see someone in the office in the morning and then come up to the campus and see the athletes in the afternoon. And that has not been possible before. And we have the whole range of specialties from nutrition to behavioral health to surgery, primary care. And that really makes a difference. And we can now see kids during their eligibility years and after they complete their eligibility. So now it's comprehensive care for going forward.
You mentioned behavioral health. That's one of the big additions this year. How has that shaped the overall program?
It's been really the biggest joy of my part of this is now seeing behavioral health be something that's embraced. We've hired two brand new professionals, Josh Klein and Dr. Justin Martell. They're located right inside the Champion Center. And that means that many of the kids can walk right across the street if they need something. And that really makes something that we've never had before.
Let's talk about the Champion Center for a moment. That facility really seems to represent the future of student-athlete support.
Well, as you know, you've been in it multiple times. You really need to come see it and just see what now is available for our kids. And it's a great thing to recruit to. It's a great thing to use. There's academic services. There are integrative services that kind of link us to the community and to the university. And our behavioral health people are located right in it. They're embedded with all the academic people. And so really it's seamless.
Well, how does this partnership benefit the broader community beyond just Cougar Athletics?
So what we're trying to do is give the very high level of care that we give to the athletes to the community. And these professionals now allow us to serve the entire community at a level and breadth that we've never had before. You know, my kids from Orofino and Spokane and, Cheney and Walla Walla can now see the same people that see the Cougars actually can be seen here. And that's just something we've not had before.
Looking ahead, what are you most excited about as the partnership continues?
Well, we're still growing. And so moving forward, that's kind of our theme. How do we keep moving forward? There are preliminary thoughts about a sports medicine institute right here on campus where multi-collaborative care could become part of just the daily routine, where there's a large center right on campus where people can come and receive everything from nutritional assessments to we can test how high your vertical jump is. We can see, how quick you are in a 40-yard dash. And at the same time, we can check your blood pressure. And so all those things that we've not been able to do are now moving forward. And so we're excited about that.
Dr. Tingstad, thank you for your time and for all the work you and the team are doing. Pullman Regional Hospital is the official hospital of Washington State Athletics, and we are proud of the care you provide to Cougar student athletes.
Well, thanks for what you do, Chris. You're the voice of us all, so thank you for helping us, and I appreciate it, and go Cougs.
Go Cougs.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. Rural communities face unique healthcare challenges. By providing hands-on opportunities for WSU students in health sciences, nursing, pharmacy, and the LSNS Floyd College of Medicine, Pullman Regional Hospital is helping to shape the future of local healthcare. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
Whether you're cleaning up to host a backyard game day party or just powering through your fall projects, you can count on the performance of Steel. From blowers to chainsaws, Steel tools are built to go the distance. With legendary quality and real dealer support, you'll find the right tool and the right team for every job. Steel, proud supporter of your Washington State Cougars.
Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes every moment cheering on your team even better. Plus, the mountains on the bottles and cans turn blue when your beer is Rocky Mountain cold. So you never have to guess if your Coors Light is ready to drink. So crack one open, take a sip, and enjoy the game. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
When putting in a tree or fence post, we all hate it when our shovel hits a big rock. But there are worse things to come across, like a natural gas or electric line. Nowadays, buried utilities are everywhere, some just below the surface. That's why it's the law to call 811 before you dig, to have your lines marked ahead of time. It's free for Avista residential customers. So call 811 2 business days before you dig. You need time to pick out that perfect shrub anyway. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
30 minutes are in the books. Coming up, a first half recap, a look at the stats, plus scores from across college football. Now, it's time for the halftime report on the Cougars Sports Network.
Washington State leads 7-0 against the Idaho Vandals here at the halftime break. 94th meeting in the Battle of the Palouse between these two programs. The Cougs have won 10 consecutive meetings against the Vandals, and they're off to a touchdown lead here at the halftime break. Austin Samuels with you here at Martin Stadium for the Cougar halftime report. We'll get you the first half recap. A little bit of a sleepy start for both of these two teams in their season openers. First game under first-year head coaches for both squads, Thomas Ford and Jimmy Rogers. We'll also break down the stats from the first half and get you some scores from around the country. Again, I mentioned a little bit of a slow start. Both teams feeling each other out, as the guys said in that first half. Both teams a little bit of momentum on their first couple of drives. The Cougs went 2 and out twice, or 3 and out twice, and they would punt on their first 2 drives. Idaho would do the same. The Vandals really had the first and only momentum in that first quarter. They drove deep into Cougar territory, and they attempted a field goal 44 yards out. Cameron Pope missed the attempt wide left. That was really the only scoring chance in that first quarter. It came with under a minute to go in the first, so it was 0-0 after one. Washington State, 2 drives, 2 3 and outs, 15 yards of offense in the first quarter, but luckily for Washington State, they got it going on to start the second. The Cougs' first drive in the second quarter, they cashed it in for the only touchdown of the night thus far. Jackson Potter found Josh Meredith in the left corner of the end zone on 4th and 3 from the 6-yard line. Let's hear how it sounded from Chris King in the booth.
3 tight ends in this game. Hunter Cederlin, Adamola Foley, and Trey Lechner. Leo Pulalasi, the running back. In motion goes Trey Lechner. Here's the snap, rolling out to his left as Potter looks towards the end zone. Finds Josh Meredith. Touchdown, Washington State. Jackson Potter to the veteran Josh Meredith. And the Cougs strike first, taking the 6-0 lead on the 6-yard touchdown pass with 11:30 to play in the first half.
That capped off an 8-play, 73-yard touchdown drive that took 3 minutes and 46 seconds. The extra point good from Jack Stevens. That made it 7-0 Washington State. On the next drive, the Cougs had their biggest play defensively of the first half. They forced a fumble. Josh Wood, the quarterback for Idaho, scrambling up the middle. Ball jarred loose by Malaki Ta'ase for Washington State. Recovered by Ryan Stevenson at the Idaho 45. Unfortunately for the Cougs, they couldn't do anything with it. They ended up punting the football, and both teams sort of struggled for momentum afterwards. And again, that's how we've reached our first half score, 7-0. Washington State on top of the Idaho Vandals. 94th meeting in the Battle of the Palouse between these two programs here in Pullman tonight. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the first half stats for you and some scores from around the country in college football. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Okay, text from the wedding planner. She's talking about a cake pop mural.
Ah, exciting.
Ooh, it's $8,000.
Oh.
I don't know. We're trying to save for a house.
Well, you only get married once. Or twice. 3 times tops.
There's a lot of bad money advice out there. For knowledge you can trust, come to Gisa Credit Union. Whether it's saving for the wedding or everything that comes after, we can help get you where you want to be. Find a healthier approach to money at Gisa.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning. So you're looking for something to do? We got you. Want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you wanna do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping at the Go to Lake Casino. The Go to Lake Casino. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning.
Time now to check scores from across college football. Brought to you by Coors Light. Choose chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. Celebrate responsibly.
Washington State leading 7-0 at the halftime break over the Idaho Vandals in the Battle of the Palouse, nearing the top of the hour, right around it. So let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network. Welcome back. Austin Samuels with you here at Gisa Field at the halftime break. Again, 7-0 Washington State as we run you down the first half stats pretty quickly. The Vandals actually have the lead in terms of total yards, 131 yards of offense for Idaho, 90 on the ground, 41 through the air. The Vandals have chipped away on the Washington State defense. They do not have a play over 20-plus yards in the first half and no points to show for it on the scoreboard. Washington State, 128 yards of offense, and 73 of them came on that one touchdown drive for the Cougs. 118 yards through the air and 10 on the ground here at the halftime break. The Vandals 4 for 8 on third down. Washington State 0 for 5 at halftime. Individual stat leaders for both teams. Jackson Potter in his first game as the Cougs starter, 12 for 18 at halftime, 118 yards and a touchdown for him. Angel Johnson leads the way in rushing, 4 carries and 10 yards for Washington State. Jeremiah Noga leading the Cougs in receiving, 4 catches, 47 yards. Josh Meredith caught the 1 touchdown, 2 catches, 31 yards, and a score. Josh Wood, meanwhile, for Idaho, 7 for 11 in that first half, 41 yards through the air. He also led them in rushing with 56 yards on the ground. We'll quickly check a couple of scores around college football for the Cougs. Their opponents next week, San Diego State. They played on Thursday, and they took down the Stony Brook Seawolves 42-0. The Cougs will host the Aztecs here in Pullman next Saturday nights. For Eastern Washington, they fell on the road today in Texas. They lost 31-21 against Incarnate Word. The Cougs' opponent in Week 3, North Texas, knocking off Lamar 51-0. Washington State will head down to Denton in Week 3. Oregon State and Cal squaring off right now, and it's the Cal Bears leading on the road 14-3, nearing the end of the first half. In that one, Colorado State and Washington State, or rather Washington, the Huskies midway through the second quarter. The Huskies lead 14-7. In that one, the Cougs will play the Huskies in Week 4 and Colorado State in Fort Collins in Week 5. In the top 25, Ohio State knocking off Texas 14-7 in that matchup in Ohio, and a couple of other scores around the country as well. Florida State knocking off number 8 Alabama in Tallahassee 31-17. We'll send it back to break. When we come back, we'll have the guys in the booth again. 7-0 the score. Washington State on top of Idaho here at the halftime break. You're listening to Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
For nearly 100 years, Adams Tractor has helped the Northwest knock out to-do lists one tough job at a time. As your local Kubota dealer in Spokane and Lewiston, we're proud to back Washington State athletics with the same grit we bring to every yard, field, and job site. From mowing to digging to plowing, Kubota delivers, and so do we. Visit AdamsTractor.com. Adams Tractor, nearly a century strong, powered by Kubota, fueled by Cougar pride.
Keep your summer fun going at Toyota's National Sales Event. Now through September 2nd, get 1.99 APR financing on a new 25 Tundra or $3,000 customer cash. Excludes TRD Pro. Or you can lease a new 25 Tundra SR5 Crew Max for just $509 a month for 36 months with $40.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. A negotiable doc fee of up to $200 may be added. Call 1-888-48-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
The weather is changing, and now is the time to prepare your home for winter with some new energy-efficient windows from McVeigh Brothers. McVeigh Brothers specializes in top-rated Cornelane window series that has the newest technology to reduce your heat bills and the perfect replacement door to secure your home. And right now, when you install 4 new quality windows, we'll give you the 5th window at 50% off.
McVeigh Brothers Siding and Windows, we're working for you.
Give us a call for your free quote today.
Alliant Employee Benefits is the Inland Northwest leader in employee benefit consulting and brokerage. Alliant is a difference maker, providing employee benefit solutions and problem solving while helping companies grow and protect their business. Alliant keeps its clients on the forefront of the benefit industry's constant evolution while improving the benefits experience for employees through better health outcomes and more cost-effective care. Give Alliant a call and see what they can do for you.
This September, you could be leaving Northern Quest in something different. A lot different. As in, the whole neighborhood suddenly has a staring problem when you roll up in a new GMC Canyon. Different. It's our $160,000 Grander Canyon giveaway. With 2 2025 GMC Canyons up for grabs, plus thousands in cash prizes. You know, for the extra garage space you're about to need. The Grander Canyon giveaway. Grand prize drawing September 8th and 29th. Only at Northern Quest.
Everybody knows you shouldn't retire until you're 65.
Buying a house? 20% down or nothing, bud. It's easy. Put your money into savings and never touch it.
There's a lot of questionable money advice out there. For financial knowledge that can help you reach your version of success, come to Gisa Credit Union. We can walk you through everything you need to feel confident about your finances. There's a healthier approach to money. Find it at Gisa Credit Union. Gisa is an equal opportunity lender.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
Brown family honors the legacy of founder Andrew Brown's late grandfather, William Bittner Brown. Every decision made from farm to glass reflects their commitment to premium Northwest wine and spirits. Whether you're visiting one of Brown's tasting rooms or opening a bottle in your own home, Andrew and his wife, Courtney, welcome you to their extended family where good friends, good food and wine, and good times are always on the agenda. Stop by one of our tasting rooms, Spokane, Walla Walla, Seattle, Bellevue, Tacoma, or Portland, and get 20% off a glass this season when you mention WSU.
Ready to start the second half at Gisa Field. 7-0. Washington State up on Idaho in the season opener. Kickoff for the Vandals ended up being a touchback. 7-0. Our score. Cougars getting the ball to start the second half. We're going to weave in our Alex Brinks second half keys to the game, brought to you by Coors Light. Coors Light Mountain Cold Refreshment. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. So Jackson Potter, the starter for the Cougs. That was the big question coming in. Who would win that 4-man quarterback competition? So redshirt sophomore Jackson Potter. Here's the snap, the give to Angel Johnson. He's met and dropped in the backfield. Isaiah King has been all over the place defensively for the Vandals in this game, and that has not changed. King, a tackle for a loss. That's going to go down as a loss of 6. And Alex, maybe that segues nicely into your keys of the game. What do you have for us in the second half?
Yeah, I really think offensively, Washington State, one, put the ball in the hands of the young quarterback, Jackson Potter. He's looked really good. But two, use the running backs to get out on the edge, utilize their good hands, their catching ability, their ability to be receivers, to spread the box out so guys like King can't make plays in the backfield.
2nd and 16 from their own 19. Potter looking to throw, tight window. Oh boy, contested pass to Jeremiah Noga. He comes away with it. That's the second pass we've seen, one at the end of the first half and one here, where, boy, Noga almost had to wrestle that ball away from his defender. It ended up being Caleb Ricks, the true freshman in coverage. Goes as a gain of 6. It's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Cougs.
Yeah, and Ricks, a true freshman, his older brother Elias was one of the most highly recruited DBs coming out of high school, played at LSU, plays in the NFL now. Good-looking player making a break on a ball, and Noga's able to pull it away.
It's going to be 3rd and 11, so only a gain of 5 there. 3rd and 11 for the Cougs, trying to avoid a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the second half. Cougs up 7-0. Potter takes the snap, drops back across the middle, finds Noga again. Going to have to make it happen with his legs if he gets the first down, and he won't. So this Vandal defense deserves some credit, as they have done a nice job. Outside of one drive, they have kept the Cougs fairly quiet. Tackle made by Matt Irwin there, and it is a 3-and-out. And boy, what sticks out like a sore thumb, Alex and Jess talked to Coach about it going into the locker room, is the running game's inability to get established.
Absolutely. And, when you have first down runs that go for negative yards and you get behind the chains immediately, I mean, that is just a real problem for Washington State.
Ryan Harris on to punt. He takes the snap at the Cougar 12. High booming punt in the air. Elijah Cummings steps forward. He'll watch it bounce, and it takes an Idaho hop. Ooh, Ryan Harris, it's been a bit bumpy so far for the first-year punter, and there is a flag down as it took a hop towards midfield. That is where Trey Lechner grabbed it at the 48 in Vandal territory. There are 2 flags down on the field, though, and we will wait to get word on what they are for. While the officials are huddling up here, well, there is a timeout, so we'll step aside. We'll tell you what the penalty is when we return. 7-0, low-scoring affair here in the Battle of Palouse. 12:41 to play third quarter. Cougs up on the Vandals, 7-0. You're listening to Washington State football.
Holding.
Well, hang tight.
Number 42, receiving team. The 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick. First down.
Goes against the Vandals. Guilty party there, Ryder Bordner. And that means instead of starting at their own 48, they'll start at their own 38. So we will take that timeout. More from Giesa Field and Pullman after this. You're listening to Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State athletics. Rural communities face unique healthcare challenges. By providing hands-on opportunities for WSU students in health sciences, nursing, pharmacy, and the Elson Floyd College of Medicine, Pullman Regional Hospital is helping to shape the future of local healthcare. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning. So you're looking for something to do? We got you. Want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you wanna do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping in the Go to Lake Casino. The Go to Lake Casino. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning.
Washington State 7, Idaho nothing. The season opener here at Giesa Field in Pullman. 12:41 to play in the third quarter. And we got the whole crew here tonight. Chris King in the booth next to Alex Brink, Jerry Kylo, our engineer. And now let's head down to the sidelines to Jessamine McIntyre. Jess, there was an injury we talked about kind of at the end of the first half. What can you tell us, the update on that kind of crucial defensive player for Washington State?
Yeah, quarterback, Colby Humphrey, we saw him at the end of the first half getting that right leg checked out. He is back with his helmet on in the defensive huddle right now as Washington State will take over on defense. So that is good news, especially as we know how important he is to the secondary.
Colby Humphrey, the transfer from South Dakota State, spent a lot of time in northern Arizona, so has played a lot of football. Jamari Colson, those top two cornerbacks. Alex, for people just joining us, 7-0, Cougs are up. There was one really strong drive happen early on in the second quarter. Josh Meredith, 6-yard touchdown catch, 8 plays, 73 yards, took 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Besides that, consistent offense for both teams has been hard to come by.
It sure has, and you know, for Washington State offensively, it's been the ability to get the ball to the outside receivers, Noga in particular, and a little bit Josh Meredith. For Idaho, it's mostly come from Joshua Woods scrambling off schedule, and then a little bit at times of those running backs in short yardage situations.
On the game clock.
I would say both defenses, particularly the front 6 or 7 players for both defenses, have played really well, in my opinion.
Wood, 7 of 11 passing, 41 yards, no interceptions. The one turnover in this game, Idaho coughed up a fumble. Cougs recovered. Joshua Wood lost the ball. Here's the snap, 1st and 10 from the 38. The turn, the handoff to Elijah Cummings, looking for that extra push. Got forward progress all the way to the 42, maybe the 43. So right between a 4 and a 5-yard gain on first down. Caleb Francel, not a huge surprise, but that's a name we've been saying quite a bit. Someone who's been quite active. One of those plug-and-play transfers from South Dakota State. He's got 8 tackles, already matching a career high. Did that twice at South Dakota State. Here it is, tucking and running. Joshua Wood keeps the ball for himself, tackled from behind. It's Anthony Polano has to drive him to the turf, but Wood, a really nice pickup there. He gets into Cougar territory to the 44-yard line. Gain of 19 for the Vandal quarterback.
And unfortunately, that time, Francel got duped a little bit by the play fake. Inside zone action from Joshua Wood. Francel triggered from that nickel spot, got outflanked when Wood pulled it outside and was able to rip off a big run.
This has felt like a first game of the season. It has a lot of those kind of classic traits. The Cougs, though, still an opportunity and a lot of time to kind of break through and grow the lead more than just a touchdown. Here looking for a defensive stop. Looked like a bit of a breakdown. Awkward handoff between Joshua Woods and Elijah Cummings, and the Cougs were not fooled. For Washington State, Buda Paletti, one of 3 transfers who are expected to make an immediate impact from New Mexico State. Paletti, a tackle for a loss. It was 2nd and 10 from the Cougar 44. It ends up being a loss of 3. I should say 1st and 10. It's now 2nd and 13.
Yeah, definitely a broken play there, and first chance we get to see Paletti really make an impact. Been a little bit more of Isaac Terrell at that end position opposite Ray M. Stevenson, but you see number 10 in the game now, Buda Paletti.
2nd and 13, snap back to Wood, pressure coming, being flushed out to his right. Bryson Lamb in pursuit, still running, now going to tuck, get what he can, and he's shoved out of bounds. Caleb Francel making him feel it as he goes out of bounds. There's a late flag. We've had one late hit go against Idaho in this game. It was against the quarterback Joshua Wood. This was in front of the Cougar sideline. Alex, any indication? It's kind of a long ways from us. Who's this one going against?
I think that's going to be on Josh Wood again. He stepped over the Cougar defender when he didn't need to, which I'm pretty sure they consider a taunting penalty, however it plays out.
And on the monitor, we see a look of exasperation on Woods' face, and I think you might be right. This would be a big break for the Cougs.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 3 offense for a non-football act. That's his first of the game. It will be 3rd down, Idaho.
Cougs overall, penalty-wise, have played a fairly clean game. 5 penalties, but Idaho, it's felt like their penalties have been more of the variety that really blunt momentum. That really hurt. They had the ball in Cougar territory, and then all of a sudden, this sets up 3rd and 29, and they are in their own territory at the 41.
Yeah, and that's just maddening for an offensive coordinator, Matt Linehan, where, you know, Wood goes out of his way to step over a Cougar defender. All they had to do is walk around him. He was on his feet. The defenders were on the ground.
3rd and from here until Colfax. Here's the snap. They'll keep it on the ground. Elijah Cummings still up on his feet. Going. He slipped by 3 Cougar defenders, and finally a host of crimson jerseys able to bring him down. So the Cougs almost needed all 29 of those yards that they had as a cushion. And if you're Idaho, you're probably going to punt here. You've had success really pinning the Cougs back, especially early on in the game. And this is a chance for LJ Harm out of Meade High School, the Idaho punter, to try to pin Washington State back once more. 7-0 our score. If you're just joining us, one drive for the Cougs where they look sharp. Besides that, the running game has been really cold. When you say things are hot and cold, it's been chilly to the touch for the Cougar run game. Let's see if that can change on this upcoming drive. Arm back at his own 39, takes the snap. The lefty punter gets it off. Tony Freeman calls for a fair catch at the 10, and that is where Washington State will take over. So let's look at the numbers. Alex, you almost have to rub your eyes a little bit. This is not what Idaho is hoping to see, or I should say Washington State was hoping to see on the stat sheet at this point. Rush yards. And it's a 7-0 game. Cougs are up, 9:36 to go in the third quarter. 120 rushing yards for Idaho, 4 for the Cougs.
Yeah, and that was part of the keys to the game, right, is Washington State's offense would go as this running back room went. And right now, the offensive line's having a really hard time getting push on the inside, and the running backs are just flat out not getting the room they need to get to the second level.
Timeout on the field. We'll step aside ourselves. More from Giesa Field after this. Cougs in the season opener leading Idaho 7-0, 9:36 remaining in the third quarter. You're listening to Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Whether you're cleaning up to host a backyard game day party or just powering through your fall projects, you can count on the performance of Steel. From blowers to chainsaws, Steel tools are built to go the distance. With legendary quality and real dealer support, you'll find the right tool and the right team for every job. Steel, proud supporter of your Washington State Cougars.
A mission that matters. A place to grow. Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories is an internationally recognized designer and manufacturer of products that protect and control electric power systems worldwide. Employees are problem solvers, inventors, and doers. At SEL, you can support a mission that truly matters and create a career that maximizes your full potential. Apply to join the growing SEL team today at selinc.com/careers.
With the WSU debit card from Giesa, it's hard to tell who's supporting who. When Coug fans use their WSU card, they show off their Coug pride, and donations are made back to Cougar Athletics. But the card supports the Coug fan by helping them grow their money. So, does the card support the Coug fan, or does the Coug fan support the card? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that the WSU card supports Cougar Athletics and your wallet at the same time. Get your WSU card at Giesa.com. Checking account transaction requirements, terms and conditions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Tonight's game is sponsored by Pullman Regional Hospital. You want to see the Cougs win on the court, field, track, and in the pool? Pullman Regional Hospital helps them get there. It's the official hospital of Washington State University Athletics. Pullman Regional Hospital plays a vital role in student-athlete performance and success. Go Cougs. Again, we welcome you back to Giesa Field as we are getting the Cougar football season started. We got Zane Saggio back in our Cougar Sports Network studios. Jessamine McIntyre down on the field. Up in the booth, our engineer Jerry Kylo, Chris King along with Alex Brink, Austin Samuels, our spotter. And boy, the Cougs in a 7-0 game with Idaho. It has been a tight one. And Washington State again starting deep in their own territory. Here where their drive started in this game. Cougs started their own 7, their own 3, their own 27. After a fumble recovery, started the Idaho 45, but didn't get points out of that. They've started at their own 10, 25, and now here at their own 10 again. So field position is definitely, it's been in the favor of Idaho. Cougar quarterback Jackson Potter. Let's see movement. Zach Krotzer comes through, the Vandal defensive lineman pointing the Vandals, or the Cougs' direction. Let's see if this becomes 1st and 15 from the 5.
False start. 71 offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
That's on left tackle Ashton Tripp out of Kennewick High School. Played 13 games last year, but now a starter for the Cougs. Both him and Johnny Lester, guys in the program and now starting. What's it going to take here to get things more in sync? The best we've seen from the Cougar offense, Alex, is when Jackson Potter's been able to cook with his arm.
Yeah, I agree. I think, again, throws to those outside receivers from Jackson Potter is where you start.
It's 1st and 15 from the 5. Cougs put it on the ground. It's going to be another loss. Angel Johnson, forward progress, going to get him to the 4, but he is driven backwards. Mitchell Jaskowiak wraps him up, and this continues to be a real struggle for the Cougar running game. The numbers aren't pretty. Now, 3 yards rushing for Washington State. The Cougs are averaging 0.3 yards per rush.
Yeah, just too slow developing there, trying to run a quick trap play back to the inside. And again, Idaho is playing downhill with those linebackers. That's why you've had some success with play action pass, is because those linebackers are playing so close to the line of scrimmage.
You blink at 2nd and 16 from your own 4. Cougs a 7-0 lead, but here is their movement again, and there will be against Washington State. As outstanding as the defense has been in this game, the Cougar rushing attack.
Number 83 offense, half the distance to the goal, still second down.
And every part of it is really having a hard time right now. And that goes the penalty against Ademola Filet, the transfer tight end from Michigan State. Also spent time at Norfolk State in his career. So Cougs have it 2nd and 18. Big ask here of Jackson Potter. 7-0 Washington State lead, 3rd quarter here at Giesa Field. Under 9 minutes to go. The snap, the give to Kirby Voorhees. There's some room to run. Voorhees able to get past the 10-yard line, beyond the original line of scrimmage, to the 4. So for the Cougs, he at least is able to get 12 yards on the run, and that is by far and away the best run we've seen in this game.
Yeah, nice job by Trey Lechner right there, and right guard A.J. Vaipulu pulling around and kicking out, leading the way for Voorhees, who finally we see a back get to the second level and see what those guys can do.
Big 3rd down here. Can the Cougs, despite having it 2nd and long deep in their own territory, avoid a 3-and-out? 3rd and 6 for Washington State. Up by 7 on Idaho. 3rd quarter from their own 14. Voorhees to the right of Jackson Potter. The shotgun snap taken by Potter. Looks near the sticks. Finds Tony Freeman, and he is wrestled down to the turf. Freeman in the arms of Isaiah King, who has been all over the place for this Vandal defense. Makes the tackle, but they're indicating that's enough for the 1st down. So right at the chains, a good awareness by Jackson Potter. Freeman holding on, and the Cougs do get that 1st down, just their 7th of the game.
Yeah, that was nice by Freeman, too. Just on his route, he created space away from King, which allowed Potter to deliver it, and that catch was right at the sticks, and he got the forward progress to the 1st down.
2 tight ends in the game. Jeremiah Noga in motion. Pistol formation. The snap, play action. Potter looks deep, sets his feet. Now trying to find a target. Throws behind Trey Lechner. Makes the catch. The tight end hits the turbo button. Gets beyond the 1st down marker. And Lechner out to the 37-yard line. Trey Lechner, a 17-yard reception for the Cougar tight end, the redshirt sophomore out of Glacier Peak High School in Snohomish.
Another one of those naked bootlegs. Fake the run. Get Jackson Potter outside of the pocket. Really nothing is there. Lechner's blocking down in the line of scrimmage, and then he leaks out late, presents himself to Potter. Nice job by the young quarterback to find him.
7-0, Cougs up. Washington State, some momentum on this drive. 1st and 10. Quick pass into the hands of Brandon Ganesha-Morthy. Ganesha-Morthy, known for his speed, couldn't quite get that extra block, and it's only a gain of 1.
But I still like it. This sequence of plays, obviously it starts with the run to Voorhees, or run by Voorhees, but then you're getting a 1st down throw to Tony Freeman that's outside the hash marks. Then you're getting a bootleg pass to Trey Lechner. And then right there, a quick screen to Ganesha-Morthy. Again, ball outside the hash marks with throws from Jackson Potter.
6 different Cougs have caught a pass from Jackson Potter in this game. 2nd and 9 for Washington State. Their own 38. Ball on the turf. And thankfully for the Cougs, Kirby Voorhees right there to fall on it. Washington State has not had a turnover in this game. And in a game where there's been so few explosive plays, there's been so little offensive momentum, you do not want to give the ball away in your opponent's, or in your own territory to your opponent. And the Cougs dodge a bullet there, but it does set up 3rd and 11.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Potter was trying to pull that ball out from Voorhees' stomach so that he could throw that glance route again on the backside. Just not a clean handoff right there between the back and the quarterback.
3rd and 11, Cougs at their own 36. Washington State 1 for 7 on 3rd down in this game. Snap back to Potter, has some time, steps up, throws, and it's incomplete. Josh Meredith the intended target, but not particularly close to him. And that will send out the punting unit for the Cougs. So the defense has been outstanding. The offense has been inconsistent. Really, the only bright spot has been the arm of Jackson Potter.
The problem when you're a young quarterback sometimes, especially one with a big arm like Potter, is that you get caught trying to make sure the guys are going to get open, and then you're a half a beat late, and you're forced to throw it harder than you want. Right there, a little bit late, then he tries to uncork one to the sideline, ball just sails on him.
Ryan Harris, the punter, out. He's been inconsistent so far. Gets off a low line drive kick. Elijah Cummings watches it bounce, and it takes a Cougar roll at the 25, inside the 20, down to the 13. So Harris shanked his first, and it's been a little herky-jerky ever since on his punting attempts. That one was his best of the night, and Idaho will be inside their own 15 when they take back over. 7-0 our score. It has been that way for a while. You look back, the only points in this game came for the Cougs with 11:30 to play in the second quarter. It was a pretty touchdown drive engineered by Jackson Potter, but since then, both offenses have struggled, even threatening to put up points. 4:53 to play, third quarter. Idaho will have the ball when we return. It's the Cougs 7, the Vandals nothing. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network.
If you use natural gas, you recognize its blue flame. But natural gas is actually invisible and odorless. That's why Avista adds a rotten egg scent, in case there's ever a leak. If you smell natural gas at home, get outside fast. Don't flip switches or do anything to cause a spark. Go somewhere safe. Call 911. Then Avista. We'll take care of the problem and tell you when it's okay to return. Till then, it's a good excuse to visit the neighbors. Avista. We just want you to be safe.
For nearly 100 years, Adams Tractor has helped the Northwest knock out to-do list one tough job at a time. As your local Kubota dealer in Spokane and Lewiston, we're proud to back Washington State athletics with the same grit we bring to every yard, field, and job site. From mowing to digging to plowing, Kubota delivers, and so do we. Visit AdamsTractor.com. Adams Tractor, nearly a century strong, powered by Kubota, fueled by Coug pride.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
7-0 Washington State up on Idaho. Chris King here at Giesa Field with Alex Brink, Jessamine McIntyre, our sideline reporter. It is the season opener. It is the beginning of the Jimmy Rogers era for the Cougs. And quick recap on how we've got to this point. The question coming into this game, who would be the quarterback for the Cougs? Jimmy Rogers. His lips were sealed until kickoff, and we even had to wait because Idaho got the ball first to see who'd be out there. Word came in to us late in the week that the decision had been made last Wednesday, and the decision being Jackson Potter. Potter, the numbers have been solid in this game. You look at the stat sheet, and nothing that you'd really heavily critique. 17 of 24 passing, 150 yards, one touchdown. That one touchdown drive was pretty. 11:30 to go, second quarter, 8 plays, 73 yards, 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Found Josh Meredith. The running game has been awfully quiet for the Cougs. 13 rushing yards for Washington State. For Idaho, no explosive plays, though they have had some chances, including a 44-yard field goal attempt, which they miss to get points. The Cougar defense will look to stay as stout
After
as...
further review, the ball was illegally touched by the kicking team at the 22-yard line. It's first down Idaho at the 22.
The Coug defense has been stout. They're looking for him to stay stout. The ball was originally marked down at the 13, but as the officiating crew just informed us, that illegal touching gives him the ball at the 22. That's where the Vandals begin, at their own 22. Shotgun snap. They give to Elijah Cummings. He bounces off one of his own offensive linemen and will be tackled from behind. That tackle for Washington State, a name we haven't said a ton in this game, Isaac Terrell, who is really expected to be a major impact Coug on the edge.
He's been in and around a lot of plays. He just, hasn't had a chance to finish it. I've been watching him at, pass rush moves and in the run game. He's kind of always the first guy through, it feels like. That time he finally gets home.
No gain on the last play. Let's see if the defense can continue to keep Idaho quiet. Vandals averaging just 4 yards per play. Here's a give outside. Nothing quite there. And the Cougs a big stop going backwards. A little attempted some north to south. It's Isaac Terrell again who's making it happen for the Cougs. So a little pop pass into the hands of Emerson Cortez Minjavar. Idaho offensive coordinator Matt Linehan trying to mix it up himself because the Vandals are still a team with a goose egg on the scoreboard right now. But a swing and a miss there. A major loss. It will go down as a loss of 7, making it 3rd and 17. Vandals at their own 15.
That was all Ray Stevenson on that one. Comes off the edge from the left end position. Just blows that play up.
Good to see Colby Humphrey back in the game. The cornerback who Jess has given us a report on was banged up at the end of the first half. They're going to be conservative. The snap, the handoff. Elijah Cummings loses the ball. It's on the turf. The Cougs fall on it. Were the Cougs inbounds? That's the question. Kyle Peterson looked like he fell on it, and the officials said he did fall on it inbounds. A lost fumble by Idaho, and Washington State recovers.
The ruling on the field is a fumble by the offense, recovered by the defense. First down, Washington State.
Would make a very memorable college debut for Kyle Peterson, the true freshman from Texas, signed under Jake Dickert, but staying with the coaching change and hearing Jesse Bobbitt talk about him saying he is a safety who is going to play and going to make an impact, and he was there at the right time. And let's see who stripped that ball. It was Matthew Durant. So the veteran safety knocking it loose, and the young buck falling on it for the Cougs.
What a nice play by Matthew Durant. Impact player, instant impact from the transfer from South Dakota State, comes in, makes the contact on Cummings, and then keeps that right arm free and rips at the ball to force it out.
Cougs in the Rose Hours red zone. Washington State has it 1st and 10 at the 18. In the game is Julian Duggar. First time we've seen him play action. Duggar will tuck, and he'll try to run. The transfer from Pitt, nowhere to go. And he's tackled by Mitchell Jaskowiak. So Julian Duggar, part of that 4-man quarterback competition. And seeing him for the first time, not a surprise that there have been, the thought that there'd be some packages for him. Nothing quite there, but so Potter out and Duggar in, who is a huge threat with his legs. He went off in Pitt's bowl game against Toledo in 6 overtimes, longest in bowl game history, at 88 yards rushing. But a 2-yard loss. Duggar stays in the game. 2nd and 12. He will keep it for himself, tries to run up the middle, and he is stuffed. Well, interesting there. We know Duggar's skill set as a runner and a very gifted athlete and a gifted player overall. He's very young as a redshirt freshman, but you get that turnover, and Jackson Potter, he hadn't necessarily been bad. It was the running game that's had a hard time getting its footing.
Interesting timing to go to the redshirt freshman Duggar, who's had a really good camp, and the coaches said they really liked him, really high ceiling. But again, like you said, you force a turnover short field and you pull the starter for Julian Duggar, who's now in a tough 3rd and long situation.
3rd and 11. Cougs at the Idaho 20 after the recovered fumble. Leo Pulilassi to his left. Here's the snap. The lefty quarterback sets his feet, looking, scrambles over to the left. Now he's going to tuck. He's going to beat Isaiah King, and it makes a shoestring tackle. Last second, King got him. If he somehow avoids King, he's probably into the end zone. And it's going to be short of the first down marker. That was an eyelash away, and King had to fling his right arm out, and it is Isaiah King who is down hurt. Isaiah King has been all over the place in this game. Preseason All Big Sky, and he's being tended to by the training staff. Jess, you're pretty close there. What do you see?
Yeah, exactly. He went all out to make that tackle. Like you said, shoestring. That was a play changer right there. He's on his back right now getting hydrated. And at this time in this weather, even though it is nighttime, it is still hot out. Cramping does tend to happen at this point in a game. He is on his feet right now. Doesn't look like he's going to need assistance getting off the field. Not even a limp. I'm sure they'll check him out, but looked like might have just been a cramp.
And all signs, do seem to point that way from what we see on the monitor as well. So the Cougs, gifted great field position on this drive after the fumble. I mean, you can't ask for any more from the defense right now. You get the ball at the Vandal 18-yard line, looking to grow this 7-0 lead, and there's a minute 28 to go in the third quarter. There's, Alex, you can correct me if I'm wrong, and Jess can jump in here. There hasn't been a Cougar game with this kind of flow in a long, long time. And here's
maybe that Wyoming game last year.
Yeah. Here's going to be a field goal attempt from Jack Stevens. It is 4th and 5. It will be a 30-yard attempt. Here's the snap. The hold is down from Harris. The kick is up. It's on its way, and it is good. Jack Stevens, redshirt freshman. He's a long way from home, from North Augusta, South Carolina. Was with Jimmy Rogers and his staff at South Dakota State last year. Redshirting, attempted one field goal, did not make it, and he makes his first career field goal. So the Cougs were looking to get in the end zone after great field position, forcing and recovering the fumble and getting the ball at the Vandal 18. But Washington State very happy to get the points and make this a two-possession game for the first time tonight. 10-0 Cougs, 1:18 to go in this third quarter.
Yeah, in the end, you take advantage, you get points, which is the most important thing. And, you know, again, it was, you alluded to it, but just to paint the picture for everybody, Julian Duggar was going to walk that ball into the end zone if King does not lay out and maybe just a tip of the finger clip his heel and force him to trip and fall. It certainly looked like it was going to go in. So all that being said, for Washington State to get away with 3 points right there, I think is a win. But again, this offense is having a really hard time finding their footing and creating consistency, really in the pass game and the run game now, since that one series we saw from Jackson Potter that led to the touchdown.
And when Jess talked to Jimmy Rogers at halftime, he alluded that next drive, Potter had a miss of a wide open Josh Meredith, and it felt like when the record stops and there's that screeching sound, that kind of the momentum went away with it that had been built up through that touchdown drive. Here's the kickoff from Ryan Harris. He's got a big leg, and this will be a touchback.
Well, and then, you know, from not that point, but again, the drive before the field goal drive there, on that third down, you saw another ball really sail out of Jackson Potter's hands. And I wonder if, you know, for Jimmy Rogers and Danny Freund, they said, hey, let's give it a break for a second. Let's let him come off the field as a young player and kind of see the game and then settle down and come back in. Again, same thing. I've been there. I've been a starter and been pulled and put back in. There is some element to that where there's some value. And if they felt like Jackson Potter just needed to see the game for a sec, then I can totally understand that.
And, you know, speaking to Danny Freund this week, Julian Duggar having some packages, having some time, that was something that had been talked about, but we see it for the first time here in the second half. 1st and 10, pass over the middle. Joshua Wood finds Tony Harsty, a name we thought we might say a little bit more. Harsty, a returner, makes the catch, 10-yard pickup. So first down, ball now at the 35-yard line. 1 minute to play in the third quarter. Cougs up 10-0. Defense has been really good for the Cougs so far. Art Williams, the running back, out of the pistol. Here's the give to Williams. He's upended right away by Parker McKenna. McKenna drops Williams for a 1-yard loss.
One thing Jimmy Rogers told me in the spring, I asked him how his defense differed from the previous staff's defense, and he alluded to the fact that the defensive line would tend to take up more space at the line of scrimmage versus penetrating vertically, and that would allow the linebackers and nickels to play really free, and you've seen a ton of that. A lot of Anthony Polano running through. That time you had Parker McKenna running through untouched.
We'll be 1 yard short, so it is a 3rd and 1. The snap, the handoff to Williams. Man at the line of scrimmage. I think he's short, trying to fall forward. The Cougs look like they have stopped Williams a half-yard short. This will set up an interesting decision that Thomas Ford will ultimately get to mull over for a while, because we're going to head to the fourth quarter. It is 4th and a half yard, but you're back at your own 34-yard line.
That is the end of the third quarter.
Hasn't been able to get any explosive plays, any notable chunk plays, and you're running a little low on time. You're right there within striking distance. Interesting for Thomas Ford to decide here. As we go to the fourth quarter here from Giesa Field, we will step aside. 10-0 Washington State in the opener, up on Idaho. More after this break. You're listening to Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
This September, you could be leaving Northern Quest in something different. A lot different. As in, the whole neighborhood suddenly has a staring problem when you roll up in a new GMC Canyon. Different. It's our $160,000 Grander Canyon giveaway. with 2 2025 GMC Canyons up for grabs, plus thousands in cash prizes. You know, for the extra garage space you're about to need. The Grander Canyon Giveaway. Grand prize drawing September 8th and 29th, only at Northern Quest.
Okay, text from the wedding planner. She's talking about a cake pop mural. Ah, exciting. Ooh, it's $8,000. Oh. I don't know, we're trying to save for a house.
Well, you only get married once. Or twice. 3 times tops.
There's a lot of bad money advice out there. For knowledge you can trust, come to Gisa Credit Union. Whether it's saving for the wedding or everything that comes after, we can help get you where you want to be. Find a healthier approach to money at Gisa.
Brown family honors the legacy of founder Andrew Brown's late grandfather, William Bittner Brown. Every decision made from farm to glass reflects their commitment to premium Northwest wine and spirits. Whether you're visiting one of Brown's tasting rooms or opening a bottle in your own home, Andrew and his wife Courtney welcome you to their extended family where good friends, good food and wine, and good times are always on the agenda. Stop by one of our tasting rooms, Spokane, Walla Walla, Seattle, Bellevue, Tacoma, or Portland, and get 20% off a glass this season when you mention WSU.
Earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. With Jessamine McIntyre down on the field, our engineer Jerry Kylo up here in the booth, Chris King next to Alex Brink. We've got Butch not only coming out on the field on an ATV, Alex, he's got, flames? What do we call that? Sparks? I'm not a pyro expert. Jess, weigh in. What was that? You're closer to it.
That reminded me of the biggest 4th of July sparkler I might have ever been given as a child. Don't recommend doing that at home, kids, but let's get fired up for this 4th quarter. I forgot this crowd didn't even need more firing up, so I forgot they were even going to do something in between the 3rd and 4th, but they certainly got them all back into it, as you can hear in the background of my microphone.
Butch always looks in mid-season form, getting the crowd fired up, and back to the action here. 10-0 our score. For those just joining us, Cougs had one touchdown drive in the first half where they looked sharp. It was 7-0 at halftime. The running game has been really difficult to get going for Washington State. The defense has been outstanding, and this is a big spot here. The Cougs got great field position. There have been 2 turnovers, both against Idaho, so you just look statistically, when you're +2 in the turnover category, you've got a great chance to win the game, and you'd think you might be up by more than 10 points, all things considered. But Idaho right now, leaving the offense out on the field, they are at their own 34-yard line. They've got, I'd say, a half yard. That might be overselling it. I'd say 3 inches to go, but it is 4th and short. They're going to leave the offense on the field. Alex, what do you think of this decision for the Vandals?
Well, I think it's smart. I mean, your defense has played really well. You're obviously going to leave them a short field if you don't get it, but the odds are you will get it, and you're heading into a 4th quarter down 2 possessions where you really probably are not going to get that many more shots at it, so you got to start chipping away. This is as good a chance as any.
Hayden Kinchlow has been the fullback that the Vandals have turned to in short yardage situations. He breaks the huddle to the right of Joshua Wood, the Vandal quarterback who's a threat himself. The snap to give to Kinchlow, and it looks like he'll have it. Forward progress puts him just past the 35-yard line. That does get the Vandals the first down, so the gamble by Thomas Ford pays off. This game has gone by very quickly. And Alex, for folks who you're kind of tuning in, tuning out, they heard Jackson Potter started. How would you say the quarterback position has gone with what we've seen from Potter, and then on that last series, Julian Duggar coming in?
Yeah, I think it's been fine. I think it's hard for any young quarterback in their first start to be effective when they don't have a running game in an offense that wants to run the football. And so, at times they've leaned on Jackson Potter. He's looked good, but they've been in a lot of long down situations.
Here's the snap, the turn, the give to Elijah Cummings. He's brought down from behind. Multiple Cougs in on the tackle. Darian Dalton, the transfer from San Diego State. One of them, 2-yard gain for Elijah Cummings.
Well, this is a physical defense. I'll tell you what, when they read and react and diagnose, they come downhill and deliver a blow. It seems like every time the running backs for Idaho make contact at the first or second level, another Cougar defender is coming in to lay a big hit.
So in addition to Darian Dalton, defensive tackle Keaton Beatty in on that tackle. First-year Coug transfer from Kent State. Defensive coordinator Jesse Bobbitt described him as like a wrecking ball. 2nd and 8 for the Vandals from their own 38. Here's the snap. Wood feeling the pressure. Arms wrapped around him. He's still up on his feet. Eludes one Coug, and he's finally wrapped up from behind. He'll be short of the first down marker. Parker McKenna wrangling Wood to the turf. 1 yard shy of the sticks. So 3rd and 1 for the Vandals at their own 45.
Just so slippery. Michael Hughes had a free shot at him. Joshua Wood's able to slip out of that, break another tackle to set up this 3rd and short.
Hayden Kinchlow has been their go-to short yardage guy, and he is back in the game. He successfully got a yard when they needed to convert it on 4th and short earlier in the drive. Pistol formation here. Extra offensive lineman in as a tight end. The snap. It's a fake. Wood pulls, keeps it for himself. He runs into his own teammate, still up on his feet. There will be a flag thrown. Cougs get the tackle. Idaho able to convert on the first down. They pick up 10 yards, but Alex, watching that play unfold, it looked like there could have been a lot more for Wood if he didn't just bump into one of his own guys.
Yeah, definitely. And the flag on the field, I'm certain there was a hold there as the backup offensive lineman Tyler Skinner pulled around. Tucker Large dipped underneath to try and make a play, and sure felt like he got pulled, but the flag came in late. I'll be interested to see how they...
After discussion, there is no foul on the play. The block in question was ruled to be a legal block.
Okay.
First down.
The end of that play looked like it unfolded on ice skates. It was not the most fluid execution by anyone, but this Idaho team very much in this game. We're in the 4th quarter here at Giesa Field in Pullman.
Yeah.
Opening game of the season. Cougs up 10-0 on Idaho, but you think back to some of those late season games last year for Washington State, you kind of shudder to think of when opponents hung around, when you feel like you have the upper hand and opponents hung around. Obviously so much new coach, 70-plus new players, but hoping that's not a trend that continues here. 12 and a half minutes to go. Cougs up 10-0. Idaho 1st and 10 from the Coug 45. Wood looking to throw, heaves it up, and it sails over to the Coug sideline. Incomplete.
Well, you talk about, hanging around, and if you're Idaho, you're really in the perfect position, right? Down 10-0 with, a long ways to go here. You're driving the football. Feels like Joshua Wood's kind of settled in a little bit. If you really think about it from an Idaho perspective, without a few really bad penalties from Joshua Wood, and then an occasional negative play on first down, they've been pretty consistent offensively and had their opportunities. If they're just trying to get in the red zone to give themselves a shot.
Makes it 2nd and 10 for the Vandals from the Cougar 45. The snap, the handoff to Cummings. Cummings bounces to the outside, gets past one Coug, still up on his feet, and finally shoved out of bounds by Matthew Durant. All depends on where they spot the ball. They put it down at the 37. 8-yard run for Elijah Cummings, a veteran running back for Idaho. He has had a lot of success, over 1,300 yards in his career, and they have leaned on him heavily in this game with a little sprinkle of Art Williams. No Nate Thomas, who is kind of the third piece of that three-headed running attack.
Cummings is a really nice player, over 1,300 yards in his career coming into this game, and he just does a great job with that stiff arm, great contact balance. He'll bounce off that first tackler often. 3rd
and 2, Coug defense looking for a stop. The snap, the handoff to Cummings. Cummings moves the pile forward. This is going to be close. He's pretty much right at the 35, which is the yard to gain, and no measurement needed. And the motion for that being a first down. So fresh set of downs. Time of possession in this game. Idaho has the edge on Washington State. Really, outside of those 2 fumbles, Alex, I know you were kind of breaking down the mistakes, the 2 Joshua Wood unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, but they've kind of played within themselves, even though they haven't found a way to get points yet.
Well, yeah, the turnovers, right? That's credit to the Coug defense in that regard, for sure.
1st and 10 at the Cougar 35. Harsty in motion. Wood play fake. Looking deep. Heaves it up towards the end zone. In traffic. The ball incomplete. There were 3 Cougs in the area where Wood was really trying to thread the needle to his tight end, Gabe Hoffman. Tucker Large, one of those 3 Cougs who was the closest to it.
And that's actually Jamori Colson, the veteran. Undercuts it from the backside. Big post route coming his way, and Joshua Wood didn't even see him, and I think Colson's got to come down with that ball. Looked like he got 2 hands on it for sure. Would have been another turnover for this Coug defense.
How was a dangerous throw. Wood threw that in a lot of traffic. And Alex, I see the look on your face thinking, well, Colson could have had a pick there. Could have come down with it. Instead, it's 2nd and 10. Wood, quick snap, finds a target. Cummings, the running back, makes the catch. Near the Pac-12 Shield logo, dives forward. He's got the first down to the 23. And this is where you get things tighten up here. You haven't given up a point yet, but Idaho having success keeping this drive going. A 12-yard gain, and there's a 10-point Cougar lead with just over 10 minutes to play.
And good play design by Matt Linehan right there. He goes empty formation to help clear up the picture for Josh Wood so he can really see what's happening with that Cougar defense. Puts Elijah Cummings in the slot, who's a good receiving running back in his own right. Good first down on second down play.
Art Williams in the game. Running back for Idaho. We haven't seen
play is now under review for potential targeting.
Well, in real time, it didn't seem obvious to me, Alex, but we'll have to take a look at the replay, as this one will be taken a look at further. 10:32 remaining to play here at Giesa Field in the season opener. Washington State up 10-0 on Idaho, and this is an Idaho team. You look back at the last time these two programs met up. The Cougs won that game 24-17 in 2022, and Idaho was marching down the field. They had a chance to get a touchdown, and I don't think Jason Eck was going to kick the point after. He was going to go for 2 to try to get the win, and then even though that was a close call for the Cougs, turn around the next week and you go beat Wisconsin. And this Idaho program, even though there's a lot of turnover and a new coach, well, week 1 last year, they almost get Oregon. They had the Ducks really in a bind in Eugene. And we're watching the replay now. Alex, thoughts on what you see as Cummings collided with Parker McKenna? That's the play in question.
I mean, it looked like McKenna. I don't think McKenna made contact with Cummings' helmet. His face mask dipped, right? Crown of the helmet came down, but made contact with kind of Cummings' shoulder. So I don't know if they're going to call it, the targeting where the crown of the helmet comes down, which we have seen called before. So it'll be an interesting call.
We're approaching the top of the hour. Let's pause right now. 10 seconds for station identification. This is Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network. We should have an explanation.
Review, there is no targeting on the play. It will be first down, Idaho.
So no targeting on Parker McKenna, but still it was a 12-yard reception by the Idaho running back Elijah Cummings. And it is a fresh set of downs for the Vandals. This has been a long drive right now for Idaho. And here they are, trying to erase the goose egg up on the scoreboard. Washington State a 10-0 lead on the Vandals. But Idaho, one of their best chances to score, their best so far, was a missed 44-yard Cameron Pope field goal back in the first quarter. 1st and 10, snap back to Woods, pressure coming. He's flushed out, goes right up the middle, has plenty of room, and finally knocked down, but inside the 15, Parker McKenna upends him, but he's got a first down. Wood, who is a dual threat and is dangerous with his legs, gets 11, and the Vandals are in the red zone.
It's really hard if you don't get home on Joshua Wood and get him off his spot. He steps through the pocket, does a nice job stepping through, and there's really nobody left. It was good coverage downfield by that Washington State secondary, but again, Joshua Wood's legs are the X factor.
9 minutes, 10 seconds and counting to play here in Pullman. Cougs up 10-0. Vandals looking to put a dent in that Washington State edge. 1st and 10 from the Cougar 12. Shotgun snap. They give to Art Williams. Big hole up the middle. Williams loses the ball. The ball was loose, but it looks like the Vandals recovered. Nope, they'll say that it was down by contact. Williams had that ball go off the turf at the 6.
The ruling on the field is the runner was down prior to fumbling the ball. 2nd down.
And I believe, anyways, it was going to be a Vandal recovery. And the Cougs find a way to stiffen up on defense here. And a lot has been asked of the Washington State defense in this game. And to keep the Vandals out of the end zone. Split out wide is Emerson Cortez Minjavar. Williams remains the running back. 2nd and 4 from the Cougars 6. Snap back to Wood. The handoff to Williams. Met at traffic at the line of scrimmage. Positive gain, but he's going to be short where he needed to go. 2-yard pickup. Matthew Durant's with the tackle. And some injuries in this game that have, impacted Cougs that would play otherwise. Cale Reeder, a transfer from South Dakota State, injured, not playing. Mike Sanjo, a defensive tackle. We haven't seen him in this game. A couple other guys, Devin Ellison, haven't seen. Highly touted recruit, junior college transfer. This is on the offensive side of the ball. And Maxwell Woods, running back as well. So here it is, 3rd and 2. And this clock continues to just bleed. There's 7 minutes and 35 seconds left to play. Cougs up 10-0, but the Vandals on the doorstep. 3rd and 2 from the Washington State 4. The snap. Here's a handoff to Williams. Good jump cut. He's into the end zone. Heck of a job by Art Williams. He makes the Cougar defense miss. The Vandals get their first touchdown of the game. And the complexion of this game has changed. Instead of it being that 2-score lead for the Cougs, feels like we're destined for white knuckle time here. 10-6. Washington State up. But will they go for twos? In the game here is Rocco Koch, a backup quarterback who is a good runner. So initially split out wide, but now coming in tight for the traditional point after formation. Pope with Koch as the holder, trying to make it a 3-point game with 7:25 to go. Here's the snap. The hold is down. The kick is up, and it is good. 10-7 our score. The Idaho offense held without a point through the first 3 quarters, but a very efficient drive. And my goodness, the time they took off the clock, 16 plays, 75 yards, 8 minutes and 53 seconds for the Vandals, and Art Williams getting a 3-yard touchdown run, giving us our score of Washington State 10, Idaho 7. We will take a timeout, but things have certainly tightened up here in Pullman. More after the break. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Everybody knows you shouldn't retire until you're 65.
Buying a house? 20% down or nothing, bud. It's easy. Put your money into savings and never touch it.
There's a lot of questionable money advice out there. For financial knowledge that can help you reach your version of success, come to Gisa Credit Union. We can walk you through everything you need to feel confident about your finances. There's a healthier approach to money. Find it at Gisa Credit Union. Gisa is an equal opportunity lender.
Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes every moment cheering on your team even better. Plus, the mountains on the bottles and cans turn blue when your beer is Rocky Mountain cold. So you never have to guess if your Coors Light is ready to drink. So crack one open, take a sip, and enjoy the game. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. The winning is just the beginning. So you're looking for something to do? We got you. Want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you wanna do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping at the Go to Lake Casino. At the Go to Lake Casino. Go to Lake Casino. The winning is just the beginning.
The Junior Cougs Kids Club, presented by Toyota, is the official kids club of the Washington State Cougars. It is the best way for the youngest members of Cougar Nation to show off their Cougar pride. Find out more information about your Junior Cougs membership perks at wsucougars.com/JRCougs. Things have gotten awfully interesting here at Gisa Field. 7:25 left to play. 10-7, Washington State up on Idaho, but a 16-play, 75-yard touchdown drive for the Vandals, giving them their first points. Took almost 9 minutes. Jackson Potter played the entire first half at quarterback for the Cougs. Started the third quarter, but the last drive, it was Julian Duggar. That begs the question as we go down the sideline with Jessamine McIntyre, who's it look like is coming in the quarterback for the Cougs in this crucial spot, Jess?
Well, the thing is, right now we're seeing both Potter and Duggar warming up again alongside Zevi Eckhouse. So as close as they kept this to the vest in the the weeks leading up to this game. It looks like they're keeping it close now, but as Brigg mentioned in the break while we were off air, it does look like the quarterback's coach is staying very, very close to Duggar. So while all three quarterbacks are warming up, it wouldn't be a surprise to see either Duggar or Potter go back out there, and I'll keep you informed after the kickoff.
There have been 2 turnovers in this game, and they both have been forced by the Cougs, and yet here they are in this spot, 10-7 with 7:25 left to go, clinging to a 3-point lead. Low line drive kick on the kickoff. It is grabbed by Leighton Smithson, dropped the ball, picks it up cleanly to the 10, to the 11, still going. He battles tooth and nail to get to the 17-yard line, and our eyes are fixed on those 11 Cougs in crimson jerseys, gray pants, and gray helmets coming out on the field, and it will be Julian Duggar. So, Alex, there is no better expert to turn to in this spot than you. Interesting. Potter, the first 65% of the game, roughly. I'm a comm major, not a math major, and then now it's Duggar for these 2 crucial drives.
Yeah, definitely. You're putting the ball in the hands of a young player, redshirt freshman, very limited experience, similar to Jackson Potter, but a dynamic dual threat player. Again, we heard about in the bowl game his rushing ability, but in camp they also said he could really throw the football.
Here's the snap. It's high. It goes beyond Duggar, who grabs it cleanly, and he's tackled down at the 3. A high snap for Washington State that nearly went in the end zone. Instead, it's going to be a loss of over 10 yards. And instead of having it 1st and 10 from the 17, the Cougs will have it back at the 3-yard line on 2nd down. There's under 7 minutes left to go in this game. And the pendulum, the momentum, has drastically shifted after that long drive by the Vandals from the crimson and gray to the silver and gold.
Just disastrous, though. Snap looked a little hot to the right side of Duggar, but he definitely got 2 hands on it.
2nd and 14. Voorhees to his left, Johnson to his right. The snap, the give to Johnson, and he's tackled at the line of scrimmage. And the Cougs' inability to get anything going on the ground continues. Washington State, after that bad snap, now with -1 rushing yards in this game. Now you take away the bad snap, and it was still right around a yard per carry. It has been non-existent.
Yeah, just nothing there. I mean, point of attack. Every time Washington State tries to pull tackles or tight ends, it seems like Idaho's just filling behind and tracking down the line of scrimmage. The plays are too slow developing.
It is 3rd and 24 for the Cougs at their own 3-yard line, looking to get to the 27. Duggar takes the snap. He will look to throw, gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. His intended target, the tight end, Adamola Filet. Pressure was coming. It's an incompletion, and the Cougs will be forced to punt deep in their own territory. The last time we saw Washington State this deep in their own territory and forced to punt, Ryan Harris shanked the punt. It ended up being just a 28-yarder. Washington State was up 10-0. Idaho did not score until there were 7 minutes and 25 seconds left in this game, but they are primed to get excellent field position with 5:46 remaining near Akisa Field, only down by 3.
And some of the inexperience there of Julian Duggar. He had Josh Meredith wrapping behind.
Harris, the punter, has to be careful. This is his first game punting. Here's the snap. He will get it off cleanly. It's a solid punt. Harsty comes up, calls for a fair catch. He had some room, and it'll be marked down at the 46. Alex, it looked like there was some meat on the bone for Tony Harsty there instead of having to call for that fair catch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he did not need to call for it. I understand trying to get his hands on to secure it because they're already going to have good field position in plus territory on the Washington State side of the 50. Idaho's got great field position off that 3 and out from Washington State.
This Cougar defense has to be a little tired. That last drive just took a minute and 36 seconds, which was thrown all out of whack by the bad snap and a 14-yard loss. It is interesting here and more interesting than Washington State would like to have it at this point in the game. 5:40 left to play, 10-7. Cougs up on the Idaho Vandals. We'll be back after this break. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Is just a short drive from the Wazoo campus. They've got you covered for all your lodging and dining needs with a new addition of their on-site bar and restaurant, Crimson Bar and Bites. You will feel right at home with their spacious rooms, famous Hampton waffles, cozy outdoor patios, Cougar gift shop, and the friendliest staff in town. Visit HamptonByHilton.com to reserve a room for your next trip to the Palouse. Coug owned and Coug managed. It matters where you stay. Hampton and Pullman. Hilton for the stay.
When putting in a tree or fence post, we all hate it when our shovel hits a big rock. But there are worse things to come across, like a natural gas or electric line. Nowadays, buried utilities are everywhere, some just below the surface. That's why it's the law to call 811 before you dig, to have your lines marked ahead of time. It's free for Avista residential customers. So call 811 2 business days before you dig. You need time to pick out that perfect shrub anyway. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
For nearly 100 years, Adams Tractor has helped the Northwest knock out to-do list one tough job at a time. As your local Kubota dealer in Spokane and Lewiston, we're proud to back Washington State athletics with the same grit we bring to every yard, field, and job site. From mowing to digging to plowing, Kubota delivers, and so do we. Visit adamstractor.com. Adams Tractor, nearly a century strong, powered by Kubota, fueled by Coug pride.
White knuckle time at Giesa Field. Season opener for Washington State. The Cougs find themselves clinging to a 3-point lead, 10-7. Washington State's advantage on Idaho. 5:40 left to play. If you're just joining us, Cougs had a beautiful touchdown drive early in the second quarter. Took a 7-0 lead at halftime. Washington State got great field position. Cougs +2 in the turnover margin in this game. Only got a field goal out of it, but since then, the momentum has shifted towards Idaho. They put together a nearly 9-minute-long touchdown drive. Cougs a bad snap deep in their own territory, forced to punt, and here Idaho has the ball, only down by 3. 5:40 left to go. 1st and 10 at the Cougar 46, and the time of possession, Alex, fairly tight on the first half, but in the second half, it's been dominated by Idaho. This Cougar defense, as good as they've been, they've got to be tired.
Yeah, absolutely, and really it's been a lot of Josh Wood putting pressure on this team.
Here's the snap to give to Elijah Cummings. He runs in the arms of Caden Beatty, and Beatty wraps him up and had to hang on. Cummings gets a couple of extra yards after first contact. It's going to be a 5-yard pickup by the running back Elijah Cummings, who has been strong in this game for the Vandals.
Man, it feels like you're feeling that fatigue a little bit on the first and second level for Washington State. Think about Anthony Polano all over the field in the first half. Just have not felt his presence as much here in the second half at that middle linebacker spot.
Redshirt freshman, and those legs just haven't been through anything like this in his college career. The snap to Wood, pressure coming. Wood gets rid of it, has a target. This is going to be incomplete. No flags are thrown. The target for the Idaho Vandals, their big tight end, Gabe Hoffman, who is the nephew of Brock Heward. Maybe a little bit of contact, at least the Vandal fans here at Giesa Field, voicing some displeasure, but it's Tucker Large in coverage, and he was holding his left shoulder a bit. That is not good to see. Large, one of the most crucial pieces of the Vandal defense, and that is with Cale Reeder out for this game. So 3 safeties who have played a lot of football coming from South Dakota State, and with Large starting to walk off the field, it's a true freshman, Kyle Peterson, who's going to come in and take his spot. So 2 incredibly important players for the Cougs. Cale Reeder not playing in this game, and now in this crucial spot, Tucker Large walking off with the training staff. .457 remaining in the game. Cougs up 10-7 on Idaho. Vandals with it 3rd and 6 from the Washington State 42. Joshua Wood, his dad Victor Wood, former WSU wide receiver, and we'll have the first timeout of the second half taken by either team, and it is Jimmy Rogers forced to burn it.
Washington.
Well, with how tight this game is,
First of the half. This will be a full timeout.
you don't want to see one of those slip away unless you absolutely have to use it, but clearly Jimmy Rogers deciding it was necessary there. Timeout on the field. We will step aside ourselves. Here we are, Giesa Field, 4:57 left to play. Huge 3rd and 6 coming up for the Vandal offense. Cougs looking for a stop. Washington State leading Idaho 10-7. This is Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce tribe. Experience Namipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories is a high-tech global company headquartered in Pullman, Washington, with a mission of making electric power safer, more reliable, and more economical. At SEL, employees enjoy working in a fast-paced, innovative environment while enjoying the many benefits of living on the Palouse. SEL is seeking engineers for paid internships and full-time positions. Apply to join the growing SEL team today at selinc.com/careers.
With the WSU debit card from Giza, it's hard to tell who's supporting who. When Coug fans use their WSU card, they show off their Coug pride and donations are made back to Cougar Athletics. But the card supports the Coug fan by helping them grow their money. So does the card support the Coug fan or does the Coug fan support the card? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that the WSU card supports Cougar Athletics and your wallet at the same time. Get your WSU card at Giza.com. Checking account transaction requirements, terms and conditions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Washington State 10, Idaho 7, fourth quarter here at Giza Field in the season opener. 4:57 left to go. The Idaho Vandals with an incredibly important play. 3rd and 6, the Cougar defense looking for a stop in the worst way. The ball at the Washington State 42-yard line. We've seen a quarterback switch in this game for the Cougs. Julian Duggar taking over in this second half for Washington State. A really good sign. Tucker Large in the game. So the veteran safety coming over with Jimmy Rogers from South Dakota State. And left hurt, and are they going to make sure he comes out because he did not miss a play?
Right.
And now Jimmy Rogers is going to come over. Is that why Jimmy Rogers took a timeout?
Timeout to try
and well, no.
I think because he took himself.
The injured player for Washington State, number 1, has to sit out for one play.
Oof. This is a big play to switch from Tucker Large, who was an FCS All-American last year, to Kyle Peterson, who's a true freshman playing in his first ever game. 3rd and 6. Your win probability chart tips one way or the other a pretty good amount, depending on how this play goes. Here's the snap to Wood. Wood pump fake, screen pass. Cougs had it sniffed out. Tony Harsty knocked down from behind. Washington State not fooled in the slightest. Matthew Durrance and Parker McKenna were not the first Cougs to get to Harsty, but they were able to take him down for a loss. So even without Large, the Cougar defense delivers. This will set up 4th down, and despite having great field position, the Cougs were deep in their own end zone when Ryan Harris had to punt it. And yet the Cougar defense gets a stop. 0 yards gained on 3 plays for Idaho. 4:20 and counting to play in this game. And Washington State leading by 3, set to get the ball back.
What a play by the Cougar defense to recognize that screen pass by the Idaho Vandals.
LJ Harm on to punt. Tony Freeman back deep. Harm, low line drive punt. Freeman will watch it bounce. Cougs will be wise not to touch it, taking a bit of a Vandal roll inside the 10, down to the 6. LJ Harm has had himself a pretty good day. The Idaho punter out of Meade High School. And the Cougs again will be deep in their own territory. And we remain on quarterback watch. What was the theme throughout fall camp is continued on through this game. If you were to think most fans in the stands, if you were to poll a Cougar fan, they probably would have thought Zevi Eckhouse likely would have been the starter. Jackson Potter revealed going into this game that he won the job. Potter played the entire first half into the 3rd quarter. Then Julian Duggar came in after there was a forced fumble that gave the Cougs great field position inside the red zone. And we've got Jackson Potter coming back in after Julian Duggar was out for the last 2 series. 4 minutes left to go. 1st and 10 for the Cougs from their own 7. So it's Potter back in the game. Here's the snap, the give to Angel Johnson. The Cougs have been quiet on the ground in this game. Johnson a little bit there. 2 yards feels like a lot compared to what Washington State has done. The Cougs going into that carry averaging negative 0.1 yards per rush.
Yeah, you're just seeing, those Idaho Vandals, the secondary players are just coming straight downhill. As soon as they see run, just feeling no pressure, no vertical presence from the Washington State receivers or pass game in general.
Cougs taking their time to break the huddle. It's this interesting balance. You have the lead. There's 3:20 and counting left to go. You have the ball, but you also want to get something going on this drive here. not be as worried about the clock. Here's a quick screen pass. Potter finds Tony Freeman, gets a block, and he's got the first down. Plus, he stays in bounds. Couldn't ask for anything more than that. Nice job by Jackson Potter. You've been out the last two series. First time you're asked to throw it, puts it right on target to Tony Freeman.
Yeah, and those throws are not easy. Those bubble screens running sideline to sideline. People think they're easy, quick throws. They're hard because those receivers are running away from you. You've only got a little bit of surface area to throw to. Plus, he had a defender in his face. Good delivery by Jackson Potter. And then a great block by Jeremiah Noga on the outside to spring Freeman.
Officially goes down as 11-yard gain. Cougs have it at the 21-yard line in their own territory. 2:35 and counting to play. Cougs up by 3. Back to the ground they go. Potter to Angel Johnson. Johnson jump step towards the inside. Gets a little bit of room. He will pick up 2 yards. But there's not been a single rush in this game for the Cougs over 10 yards. Dylan Lane with the tackle.
Timeout. Idaho, this is their first of the half, a 30-second timeout.
And this is where it really becomes the chess game as far as the game management, clock management goes for both teams. Thomas Ford will take his first time out of the second half. Well, if you were thinking this might be a shootout in a high-scoring affair, it has not been that.
Seconds.
2:19 left to play. Washington State 10, Idaho 7, and it is second and 8 for the Cougs from their own 23 after Idaho takes that timeout.
Yeah, I don't know that I thought it was going to be a high-scoring affair, but I definitely thought the Washington State offense would have a little bit more consistency than they had tonight. Now, to be fair, I'm not being an apologist here. When you put in a new offense and you've got a new starting quarterback and all the thing, offense is always the thing that kind of comes last. Defense tends to come first, especially with the number of defensive transfers that came with this group. So I envision the defense being ahead of the offense, but obviously this offensive output has not been good enough.
Here it is, second and 8 after the timeout. Pistol formation. Potter the quarterback. Angel Johnson behind him. The snap, the give to Johnson. Met up, loses the ball in the backfield. The Vandals recover it. Idaho has the ball inside the 10. And what has already been a really bad night for the rushing game turns into a disaster on that play. Johnson fumbles the ball. Donovan Parham recovers it. And with 2:21 left to play, Washington State up by 3. But the Vandals will get the ball in the red zone as it's officially marked down at the 10-yard line. The last thing you could afford to have happen there for Washington State. Well, that is what just took place.
And Matthias McLean off the backside, right side defensive end, slipped in past Ashton Tripp, delivered a blow in the backfield to Angel Johnson, who obviously was not ready for it, did not have that ball protected, and ball got punched out by McLean on his way down to the ground.
Here we go. Feels like it's been here we go for a while as the Vandals have seized the momentum in this game, especially in the fourth quarter. Cougs clinging to a 3-point lead, at least trying to keep Idaho out of the end zone. 2:21 left to go. Both teams with 2 timeouts from the 10. Here's the snap. They give to Art Williams. Has a little bit of room, but clogged up after that first-yard push. He's taken down for only a gain of 1. And this presumably will take us to the 2-minute warning. No one using a timeout right now. Who's going to blank here? Can the Cougar defense, and a heck of a lot has been asked of them in this game, come through once more when they've had to be on the field for a large portion of this second half?
This is the 2-minute timeout.
Or will Idaho break their 10-game losing streak in this series and get their first win over the Cougs since 2000? Timeout on the field. We'll take a break. Well, don't go anywhere. A lot still to be decided in the last 2 minutes of this one. Cougs up 10-7 on Idaho. Vandals at the Washington State 9. You're listening to the Cougar Sports Network.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe. Experience the Mipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
If you use natural gas, you recognize its blue flame. But natural gas is actually invisible and odorless. That's why Avista adds a rotten egg scent, in case there's ever a leak. If you smell natural gas at home, get outside fast. Don't flip switches or do anything to cause a spark. Go somewhere safe. Call 911. Then Avista. We'll take care of the problem and tell you when it's okay to return. Till then, it's a good excuse to visit the neighbors. Avista. We just want you to be safe.
Whether you're cleaning up to host a backyard game day party or just powering through your fall projects, you can count on the performance of Steel. From blowers to chainsaws, Steel tools are built to go the distance. With legendary quality and real dealer support, you'll find the right tool and the right team for every job. Steel, proud supporter of your Washington State Cougars.
Can Washington State find a way? Style points, that's gone out the window. The Cougs looking to survive and get the Week 1 victory over Idaho. Washington State was up 10-0, but the Vandals put together between the third and fourth quarters a nearly 9-minute drive. They got their first touchdown, 10-7 the score. The Cougs have sputtered offensively in the second half. They've used two different quarterbacks, and consistency has eluded them. Anything on the ground has been beyond difficult for the Cougs. Washington State averaging negative 0.4 yards per rush, and Angel Johnson losing a fumble when the Cougs had the ball under 3 minutes to go, giving Idaho 1st and 10 from the Washington State 10. There's been one play run since then. It's a 2-yard pickup, and the ball at the 8-yard line, technically the 11, I should say, is where it took over. So it'll be 2nd and 8 from the 9. Alex, okay, what you got to be like a goldfish, right? You got to have a short memory, and if you're the defense, you're being asked a lot, but you got to find a way here to at least keep this to a field goal attempt.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. For Washington State's defense, they've been asked to carry the water all night, and they're getting asked to do it again. Some good players out on the field for the Cougs. Certainly been a strength for them. Need to have it right here.
2nd and 8 from the Cougar 9-yard line. Art Williams has scored that lone touchdown of the night for Idaho. He's been effective on the ground. Joshua Wood, Dad Victor, star of the 88 Aloha victory for the Cougs. Now playing against his dad's alma mater. Here's the snap, the handoff to Art Williams. Got some room, gets to the 5, taken down. Will they mark him down at the 4? He'll be down at the 4-yard line. He gets 4, and a timeout will be taken. So both teams had 2 timeouts, and the timeout taken by the Cougs. Washington State with 1 timeout remaining.
Timeout. Washington State, their second of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
This is such an interesting game, Alex. It's been low scoring. And
please reset the game clock to 1:53.
What's been the longest play of this game? I mean, neither team has been able to do anything extra explosive. I'm trying to think if anything would even just qualify in the explosive play category. If you give up a touchdown here, you've got either 1 or no timeouts, limited time, and you just haven't had anything explosive in this game. And if they get a touchdown, if they make the point after, you need a touchdown to counter.
Right. I mean, I think the longest play Washington State's had might have been that Meredith completion on the touchdown drive, possibly. You know, I don't know if it was 20 plus, but it certainly gave you a shot in the arm there. And for Idaho, you know, a couple Joshua Woods runs maybe somewhere in the mix.
Their longest play, 16-yard Joshua Wood run. Longest for the Cougs, 25-yard by Josh Meredith. Pistol formation, huge play here. 3rd and 3 at the Cougar 4-yard line. Wood, the snap, rolls out to his right. He will tuck, he will try to run, gets rid of it as he throws, and it's to the back of the end zone, incomplete. No flags on the play. How much of a gambler are you if you're Thomas Ford? He sends out Cameron Pope. Pope, 0 for 1 on field goal attempts in this game. The East Wenatchee product out of Eastmont High School. Last year, in his first year as the Vandal kicker, 17 of 23. This will be a chip shot, but certainly nothing guaranteed, as the Vandals will attempt to tie this game with 1:46 to go. LJ Harm, the punter, the holder. It will be a 21-yard attempt for Cameron Pope. Here's the snap. The hold is down. The kick is up, and it is good. We've got ourselves a tie game with 1:42 left to go. 10 unanswered points for the Vandals. And as disastrous as that Angel Johnson fumble was for the Cougs, another tip of the cap to this Washington State defense, put in a nearly impossible spot, and they do hold Idaho to just a field goal.
And I think for, Washington State's defense, Idaho kind of played into their hands a little bit on that third down play. I'm really surprised Matt Linehan took the ball out of the running game and decided to throw the ball with Joshua Woods, even though it was a sprint out and something where, he potentially could use his legs. They were having so much success with the downhill running game against a tired Washington State defense. Sprinting him out on the edge allowed Washington State to pursue sideline to sideline, cut the field in half, and the Cougs end up getting that stop and only giving up 3 points. And Washington State's got the ball last, potentially got the ball last here, which is really what you asked for in a back and forth game like this.
Looking at the sideline, I believe that is the mental skills coach for the Cougs talking with Jackson Potter, which I think might give us an idea of who is going to be out there. Here's the kickoff. Leighton Smithson takes it back at the 5. He gets out past the 25, and the Cougars will begin at the 26-yard line. Well, maybe not the way Washington State, Jimmy Rogers, or anyone in crimson and gray maybe envisioned this game unfolding here tonight, but you got a chance to march down the field and to win this game. Cougs one timeout in a 10-10 tie with Idaho, a minute 36 to go, and as we watch the huddle be broken, it is Jackson Potter once again.
Let's see what the kid's got here. Ball in his hands, a minute 30 left, tie ball game. Some good weapons on the outside. We've seen Nogo, we've seen Meredith. Tony Freeman's had a nice game. Definitely some opportunity here for Jackson Potter.
The redshirt sophomore takes the shotgun snap. 4-man rush, gets rid of it quickly, finds Tony Freeman, makes one battle miss, still up on his feet, twirling around near the Cougar head logo at midfield. He stopped at the 45-yard line. It's a 19-yard connection with most of the hard work being done by Freeman's legs.
And Freeman's the fastest player on the football field. I'd get him the ball as much as possible on this drive.
Minute 25 to go. Snap, quick pass, it's Freeman again, right at midfield, makes the catch, clock moving here as the Cougs hurry up and get to the ball. Really, for Jackson Potter in the second half, he hasn't had a lot of chances with his arm or to do anything consistently. He'll get that opportunity here. Snap back, 2nd and 5 from midfield. In traffic, he finds Kirby Voorhees, who makes the catch. He's short of the first down marker by a yard. Clock is moving. This is interesting here. Cougs one timeout, 55 seconds and counting to go. Here's the snap, the give to Voorhees. He's got the first down and more. Up on his feet to the 35, lowers his shoulders. That's where he's tackled as the chains move. Clock stops with 49 seconds left to play.
Great run by Kirby Voorhees. Sees the hole, puts his foot in the ground, breaks one tackle, and he gets into that second level.
Was 11 yards on the run. Snap back to Potter. Potter looking around. Voorhees open in the flat. One man to make miss, and he's upended. Clock moving here for the Cougs. 39 seconds, 38 seconds. Rogers has one timeout. The Cougar coach not using it here. 32 seconds. Potter up on the ball. It was a 2-yard gain. 2nd and 8 from the Idaho 28. A lot of time coming off the clock. Potter looks to the sideline. Snap back to Jackson. Surveying, looks, finds Voorhees, makes the catch, short of the first down marker, but gets out of bounds. Alex, it's a lot of time that came off the clock for what ended up being about a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, they weren't getting lined up correctly, and they had to get Freeman back lined up into the slot. It's the second time Potter's done a nice job working through his progression. Keeps moving right to Voorhees. That time, he had Noga wrap him behind. Would have been a big gain for a first down. Either way, 3rd down here. Need a few more yards to feel good about this field goal for sure.
Well, and you have an unproven, untested kicker as well. At the Vandal 29, it is 3rd and 4. 19 seconds left to play. Cougars have one timeout. 10-10 tie. Snap back to Potter. Has some time. Pump fake over the middle. Finds Pulalasi. He's got the first down to the 20, to the 15. Finally brought down. 10 seconds left to go. Clock stop as the chains move at the 15. Potter set to spike it. He does. 1 second. 1 second originally came off the clock. An extra one then melted off. 8 seconds left to go. Alex, do you run another play? Or Jack Stevens, who's a redshirt freshman, last year in his redshirt season, didn't have to burn his redshirt, missed one field goal for South Dakota State. His only field goal attempt as a Coug, made a 30-yarder in this game. Do you send him out here with 8 seconds? What do you do?
No, you're going to run another play. Probably center it with Jackson Potter. Get this ball right in the center, maybe pick up another yard. Oh, he's going to take the timeout now. I was going to say you could center it and then take the timeout. But maybe they want to just take the timeout and kick it now, and then you got 2 opportunities if you fumble a snap or something like that on third down.
Washington State, their third and final timeout of the half. This will be 30 seconds in length.
10 tie. 8 seconds left to play. That is the last Cougar timeout. If this comes down to Jack Stevens, what Jimmy Rogers said about Stevens in fall camp, he's consistent and he doesn't get in his own head. That stands out about him. Last year attempted 1 field goal at South Dakota State, 2 point-after attempts that he made. He's got good bloodlines. His brother Drew is the kicker at Iowa, third-team All-Big Ten last year, has the Iowa record for most 50-plus yard field goals. Both of his parents were student athletes at Iowa State. So from North Augusta, South Carolina, and he will trot out on the field. Maybe not to officially win this game, but to put the Cougs in a heck of a spot. The long snapper is Colton Peoples. The punter, Ryan Harris, is the holder. This will be a 33-yard attempt to try to break a 10-10 tie, give the Cougs the lead with 8 seconds on the clock. Close to the right hash. Here's the snap. The hold is down. The kick is up, and it will be, doesn't matter. Thomas Ford did get in a timeout. And we'll watch it on the replay just to confirm whether it would have gone or not, because he did boot the ball.
Reset the game clock.
He would have made it.
8 seconds.
So Thomas Ford did sneak in that timeout. Ford elects to ice the kicker. And 5 seconds came off the clock for what it would have happened. So that's probably a realistic expectation. After this, there'll be 3 seconds on the clock. This basically, can the Cougs win it with the leg of Jack Stevens, or is this game going to overtime?
It looked pretty smooth on that one right there. It didn't look like, kind of like Jimmy Rogers said, didn't look like he let a lot get into his head. Really smooth operation. Good rep, as we like to say in the football world. Good practice rep right there.
This drive for the Cougs beginning at their own 26 with 1:36 to go. Stevens back out there. Harris the holder. Peoples the long snapper. Looking for a carbon copy. Here's the snap. The hold is down. The kick is up. It's on its way, and it is good. Jack Stevens makes the field goal. Stevens on just his 3rd field goal attempt of his career, 2nd as a Coug, makes what could be the game winner for Washington State in what has been a roller coaster affair, and the clock has not officially hit triple zeros yet. 3 seconds on the clock. And ice running through Jack Stevens' veins. Thomas Ford using that timeout. But what Jimmy Rogers said, well, that has rung true so far. Doesn't get in his own head. And that field goal right down the middle from Jack Stevens.
Big time kick from a young kicker. Jack Stevens put in a big moment, gets iced, comes back out and buries his second one. He was 2 for 2 on that drive. Chris, that was fantastic. And how about young Jackson Potter, the quarterback? Just a fantastic drive, bringing Washington State's offense down the field, using his arm. That play that got the Cougs into field goal range to Leo Puolasi was fantastic. Nothing was there. He hangs in the pocket, checks it down to Puolasi, who's all by himself. That is a veteran play from a young quarterback who got benched in this game and came back and ultimately led his team on a game-winning drive. Heck of a job by Jackson Potter.
Cougs looking to put the icing on the cake here. 13-10, Washington State up. You think back to the last time these two teams met, it wasn't a 3-point difference, it was a 7-point difference, but some real similarities between that game. Ones that have gone right down to the wire as this series dates back to 1894. 94th all-time meeting. And this has been a wildly entertaining game, and Coug fans much more on the edge of their seats than they would have liked going into it, but week 1, worry about the fixes you have to make later, get the win, and get through the night. Here's the kickoff from Ryan Harris. Low line drive kick, grabbing his Emerson Cortez Minjavar, waved his hand, now he'll bring it out, and he's still up on his feet. Cougs tackle him, and that's the game. He was in the end zone, waved his hand, but that's going to do it. Cougs are out on the field. and no indication otherwise. Thomas Ford trying to plead the case, and now he's frustrated with Emerson Cortez Minjavar. He's having a very heated conversation with Emerson Cortez Minjavar. He actually just knocked the ball out of Cortez Minjavar's hand. Not a great look there for Thomas Ford as he's having a heated conversation with Cortez Minjavar, who made a mistake there, but the head coach just knocked the ball in frustration out of his own players' hands. A lot to process, but the Cougs get the win. 13-10. Palouse after dark. Why not week one make it another wild edition of it? Washington State 1-0 on the season. A 13-10 victory. And my goodness, there's going to be a lot to unpack for Derek Dice and Grady Emerson when it comes to Coug Talk and our entire post-game coverage here. A reminder, a new Coug Talk number. You want to call, leave a message, and have your voice be heard. Give us a call for Coug Talk, 509-905-2014. And right now, let's head down to the field. Jess is standing by. Jess, take it away.
Hey, guys, standing by with defensive standout Parker McKenna. Parker, defense was the name of this game the entire time. You guys had extensive periods of long drives on Idaho's hands. What would you say? How did you keep your head around you?
I think this defense just came together as a whole and just, we knew that we had to win this game. The offense, they won us the game with the last drive. So, but yeah, as a defense, we knew that we'd have to hold them to less than 14 points, which I think we did. So
yeah, you did. Congratulations, and we'll just walk and talk here so we can get out of the way as Idaho is trying to cross here. And Parker, tell me a little bit about this team as it looks like we are moving back to the sidelines for reasons